everybody, I am Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and welcome to the viewer challenge. This particular challenge was really exciting to me because I asked you guys if you had an original painting that you did, that you loved the idea, but you weren't totally satisfied with the execution, and I would visit that concept and paint it as a tutorial so that you could all do it together. So many of you submitted artwork. We did this in the Facebook group. The TheArtSherpa official Facebook group, got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of paintings. The first painting I picked, and yes, I did say first, was Carly. Carly submitted this really amazing image. John, can you show me?
Yes, I can. Hold it. There it goes.
So this is her painting, and I really love the idea behind this. One of the things that I have found is that you guys are not lacking in imagination. A lot of times new artists think, well, what I don't have is imagination. If I just had imagination, I could do original work and I would be okay. But what's actually happening is your imaginations are great once you start using them, but sometimes the skills are not all there to execute these brilliant ideas. So I'm super excited about this series. Do you guys want to see what I did with Carly's design?
Yes.
All right, let's switch them out.
Okay, so, all right.
I'm going to sip coffee because that's clearly what I need.
I will have to. See, I was not prepared for doing a
you
super
said
fast.
you could switcheroo.
I can. Just not like super instant switcheroo. So, now, here I can. Now I can do it.
Okay, got it?
Yep.
Okay.
There it is.
So this is where I took Carly's design. Now, she told me, I asked her a bunch of questions about the artwork. I asked her what her painting was about. I asked her about how long she's been painting. I asked her what materials she used, a little bit about herself. And she gave me a lot of background information. She's at work right now, so everybody say, hi, Carly. She's an OB nurse, and so we're definitely wishing her to have a safe and good night, and that all the babies are delivered, and everyone is okay. She's telling me, I asked her, I said, I've got this little note thing. I've sent it to John too, but I've got my little notes here. So she just started painting August last year, which I think is pretty incredible. She just found this out, and she's already designing original artwork. She's already getting brave. Yeah, I felt like I was in the sun there. Jeez, that thing is like, all these upgrades are, some of them are dangerous. She started out painting with her cousin, and she didn't think it was going to be a big thing, but then it like totally took up. She's like, she loves yoga, and she really, really, really wanted to see some images of African-American women that are positive. Now, I actually happen to strongly agree with Carly. John and I was showing John some deep dive art stuff, which we're going to probably make a whole video about later. But I'm hoping you guys like my interpretation because, of course, this is a different experience than my own, but blessedly, I went to Prairie View A&M, and I had a lot of girlfriends who gave me some information. Hopefully, this is a demonstration of learning. You know, you got to fingers crossed. And the flames, I kept those. Those were really important for me to keep. The natural hair was super important for me to keep, and the flames were super important for me to keep.
Cinnamon, I think that I'm just getting back over here to pay attention to chat from my techno, but I think that Carly is here tonight.
Do you like her?
So I'm. You know, everyone is
just awesome.
Everyone is really enjoying this. So I have to say, everyone is so far. I'm scrolling back up, but everyone is saying this is phenomenal. They're really, really loving this.
I really love painting this. I really love designing this. I'm really excited to show you. Yes, there's a trace. Well, if you check the description below, you got to hit the more button. Sometimes there'll be a link to the website. We have a traceable that you can print out, and you can just print it out on a regular sheet of paper to position her. Everything else is just this design space. I think we're ready to put our wishes on and hop on in. Who likes this idea of you challenge me to an original painting where you guys design it, you make it, your idea, you explain it to me, and then I turn it into a painting that we can do on the show. Does everybody like that idea?
Yes.
Then definitely go by and join the Facebook group, TheArtSherpa. And find that thread. I'm saving it in there, and I'll keep bumping them up. And contribute your original ideas because I think you guys are amazing with your imagination.
Yeah.
All right, I'm so into this.
Everybody else is too. They're already asking, how can I send in more? How can I send one in to try out?
I really want everyone to do that. All right, I've got a couple wishes that I have to get in, that I usually do this like ahead of time and don't have any problems. So I've got one for Ian to have a good resolution to his challenge, which is like one of my favorite things. I'm also going to send some wishes of love and safety and healing to my friends at YouTube headquarters, especially my channel manager. I hope you guys are all okay. just feel like better and loved and safe. And I know that's a long journey, but I'm just wishing you well. In fact, I'm going to wish that we just stop doing this and we are just peaceful and harmonious as a species.
That would be awesome.
You know?
We could all just get together and paint together. And
then, of course, we're going to wish that Carly has a good shift and that all the babies and mamas are happy.
Yes.
Happy babies and mamas. So those are my wishes today. We're going to put those in paint over them and put those intentions in. I'm going to show you some cool tricks. This background is so fun. You're going to want to use it on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to hop right into that. I'm going to show you all the tricks to get this in and get this symmetry and get this look. I think you're going to love it because it's like a blended background, but it's not a blended background. And I'm going to pull Carly's piece aside. We're going to talk about some stuff about this piece as I am laying this in. So a couple of things like we're going to see here that we're going to make adjustments for is when you're putting in your paintings, right? One of the things that'll happen, and that's why I like to use my tracing paper, sometimes the figure doesn't necessarily fit the canvas and you lose part of the figure unintentionally. So one of the things I did was make sure I put the feet back in. And another one is I got like the hands in like the namaste position, and that's always really fun. One of the things that I love that she did was this upward face, this upward chin. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a really unexpected color palette, so I tried to keep that in here. I love the sense of empowerment here. I love the sense of well-being, and I wanted to really lean into that. And then as you may have noticed, I really leaned into hair.
Yes.
I did. I leaned into the hair hard. That happened. It just did. It went.
There's awesome hair there.
I had a lot of feelings on the hair. I'm going to do some measurements here so that we get her laid out. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to lay our center line in. This is our first little trick that we're going to do. So if the canvas is 11.5 inches and 28 centimeters, right? Where's the middle? It's 14 centimeters and 5.5 inches. So the first thing that I'm going to do is get this beautiful, wonderful center line laid in. Now I'm using a watercolor pencil. These are actually in the description. They're a decent watercolor pencil if you like watercolor pencils at not too high of a price, because they're, you know, woodless and a lot of pigment and stuff, but they make these really good sketching pencils. So I like them for that too. And we're not going to actually be using the Serral paper today because I found that the yellow Serral paper did not work on the yellow background at all in any way. So we're actually, the bottom of her where she's sitting is at 7 centimeters and it's at 2 3/4 inches. So I'm going to take this across here. So that's like a T, right?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I love these. These are not pricey and they make a really big difference.
So Caitlin was saying, thank you, Sherpa, for giving this your original spin without losing the original feel. That's so important.
Yeah, that's going to be my big thing when you guys send me stuff is like when I do a piece, I'm going to try to keep the heart of what your intention was, which is why I love the conversation part. Because you don't want to lose what the artist was doing. Again, your imaginations are fully developed and on fleek. You guys are pretty good. It was like, I thought I was going to do one, and then there were so many good paintings. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do all of these. All of them. I'm going to come up to about just under the midway point, and I'm going to put this at the 2.5 inch mark. And I'm going to make just a little line right here. This is going to help me get my center flame correctly positioned. And I'm going to give myself some brush stroke lines because what we're trying to create is this energetic lotus. So what our figure is doing here is she is powering up, right? She is empowered. She is pulling that energy in. She is all divine light all the time. And she is gonna do this thing. So that was one of the things that I really wanted to show was I had this friend Chanel who's gonna go gaga for this painting, and this is a little bit inspired by her because she definitely had her light on at 110% all the time. So see how we made this wonderful little teardrop shape? using the center line. This is going to help us keep the symmetry that we need when we paint this in. Are we good? Are we not good? Am I too gold? I'm very gold. Nah! You're going to try silver. We're going to see. We have a new lighting screen, clearly. Put the brushes on.
You were looking very golden.
I'm golden?
It looked like there was too much of a sunset on you. It's just sorry. You were turning bronze.
So see how I moved the figure up into the horizon line and then created all this dynamic interest even though she's centered?
Yeah.
The reason we centered her and the reason I think Carly instinctively centered her was that she's balanced. This is a wonderful way for us as artists to say somebody's balanced. They're at peace, right? But I wanted to create the journey, the spiritual journey, that sort of energy that's going on. So that's why I created all these insane lines. That's what was happening there. You guys ready?
Yes.
Apparently I'm not, because my
This
little brush
everybody.
just
I mean,
wandered
like
away.
this is a really attended evening show. We got over 600 people who've been hanging out trying to like.
I didn't know if anybody was going to come on a Friday night. And I'm all late. 'Cause could not. Oh my goodness. Night shows are a challenge when you have small children.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is why we don't do them a lot, but I'm glad we're doing one today.
I'm glad we're doing one today. So we got paint.
11 by 14 ampersand panel. Okay, this is a gesso panel. Where did I put the little thing? Gesso board. See this right here? It's prepped for oil and acrylics. This is a really wonderful finish, and this actually helped me keep my colors so luminous. Just an interesting fun fact. And I'm going to do most of the background with this number 26 bright. Now you'll notice this is a short handle in the Ruby Satin line. There's a link in my description below to this brush company. You can find this brush in a lot of locations, often at a very good price point. And if you're sitting at a table, it's really ideal. All right, so let's dip our brush a little bit in the water and drag off the extra water. Let's take a deep breath, because while it was a journey getting here, everything's okay now. We're just painting. Oh, this was such a crazy idea I had, and I didn't know if it was going to go. And of course, like, I always have them before I really think it out. So I'm going to do this thing I'm going to start calling the landing strip. We're going to come up to our paint to the edge and pull this out. See how I'm pulling this out?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to pull it out. I'm not pulling too much paint, but this flipping motion is loading it into my bristles. And I'm going to get just a smidge of my cad yellow. All right? So there we go. That's all I've got loaded. I'm going to have a nice deep breath, and I'm going to make rounded little brush strokes for the center of this wonderful, energetic little flame. So I'm bringing this, I'm coming on the edge of the brush, and I'm sweeping this up, and then I can sweep it down. Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
I'll come over and just load more white and not even get any yellow. And then I'll just keep sweeping this up. There's a lot of layers here, so I'm not even worried about the watercolor pencil going away. I could be, but I know I got a lot going on. It's all going to go. I'm going to pull this out, pull, 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 pull. Little yellow. See, I came right on the corner. So this is like a half landing strip. It's like I almost got something, but not too much. And just keep this pulling this up. So this is the center of the energy. This is where the core of the focus is. And I'm just pulling these brush strokes with the line of this. Powerful stuff, right? I don't know. I felt it was. I felt the design was very compelling.
Now, Katie was asking.
Hi, Katie.
She's saying, is gesso board different than canvas board? And how so?
It is, especially this particular product. This is this amazingly perfectly primed and prepped surface. It's like it begs to be painted.
It's funny that I would say that she is having you on, but actually after watching so many people paint on these, I have to say there is something really interesting about a gessoed board or a panel over a something that's canvas, which is, and that's canvas over cardboard, where this is a gessoed wood panel.
Yeah, this has no acid. It's going to have no structural induced discoloration. It is completely archival. What I'm painting today, as long as somebody doesn't set it purposely on fire, which, you know, it's art. It could happen. People get mad at art on occasion.
Mm.
It'll be here in 500 years. Between this paint and this board, somebody at an Antiques Roadshow in the future is going to be looking at my painting.
Now, the cool thing, see, I was a physics geek in college, so one of the things that I really like, so actually before that, tell them about your brush stroke there.
Okay, I was thinking they might want to know that, but I didn't want to interrupt.
No.
So what I'm going to do, I'll show you again. I'm going to grab a little bit of my yellow,
Yeah.
right in the corner here, pull the nice landing strip from the white, and I'm just coming around, and at the base I'm curving. See, I'm curving?
Yeah.
This is just enforcing the energy, the direction of this stroke, making this very still painting quite full of movement. I hope she likes it. I hope she does.
Yes, very much. This, well, the big, you know, I guess a lot of that, Rebecca is also asking what the difference between this and the like the boards that you would find in your local art store.
This is one of the first things that's so different about this is this frame's so incredibly easy. It is always square. It is always flat. In fact, these are the perfect surface to pour on. If you're doing paint pouring, there is no more ideal surface than this because they literally have no give anywhere. They're engineered perfectly.
Later on, I'll dork out about the stuff when you're hair drying or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they're kind of interesting in that sense. Like if you're trying to get this framed or finish this, the way their surface is prepped, it reflects more light, so your color is more luminous. You know, if you've got really dull paint, it may not necessarily fix that. But if you've got really great paint and you do this, man, it is like on like Donkey Kong. Sorry, that was a very strange thing to say, but true. So I'm just adding a little more yellow, and I'm going to start to come around. Now, interestingly enough, I'm going to remember where this mark is because I want to, like, you know, kind of come down with my lines and then redefine this as the ground a little bit later. I'm going to rinse out. Get the white out of my brush, like you do. And I'm going to pull out some of my yellow here and a little bit of my quinacridone. Look at that. It's a nice little hot orange, isn't it? I'm going to just start following along inside this energy. And relax. This is maybe one of my most, like, meditative healing backgrounds, and I'll tell you what, I needed a healing background. I'm just again still following the brush stroke, and I hope you can see how giving yourself these guidelines can help you not get lost in your painting. So I'm just enjoying, you can see I'm just working the edge of my brush. When I come to the bottom, I just kind of callig it out. This is a lot like a calligraphy stroke. And just continue back up. Like you do. If you were to do that. But you might not.
But you might not.
And you can see it's just no work for me to paint the canvas. I would be working
it's not
a lot harder. It's not canvas. It's not hard to paint the surface.
Yeah, and it's
if you were painting in canvas, you might be working right now, especially if it's an economy canvas, but this isn't making me work. We're not sponsored. This is just my opinion.
Now you're blending the...
Yeah, so this is an interesting blend. The blend actually happens because some of it's still wet, but it's also the way I'm doing this brush stroke, where the brush is on the side here, see, and I'm just pulling it up. As I do this together, and we just do a couple layers like this, it just comes together. Now as I'm coming out, I'm going to rinse out again. I got lots of little blendies I'm going to be doing here. So right now we're just setting that first layer. I'm going to pull my landing strip out on my pink. Pink, 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 pink. Pink, 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 pink. I'm going to get a little white on that pink because with the quinacridone, a little white reveals the color. Right? Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to come a little bit into my orange here with the pink, see? Very light pressure. Look at that. Light pressure. This is a great fun brush. Light pressure. Just pulling it around, grabbing that pink. And you can see that's just super saturated.
Yeah.
Just brushing this down. Not amazing?
It really is. That's your quinacridone for you.
That's your quins for you. You could do regular primary magenta. You could do a little quinacridone magenta.
Look at you throwing down those $3 art words.
I know. I got so many $3 art words. Right now I'm doing this study on ochre and the history of Australia. That's a weird moment in my life.
To be cool.
It actually is a serious business, ochre in Australia.
I would imagine.
It's not a small deal, man. And there was actually a whole war and massacre over it.
But that's not so cool.
That was not cool. Don't kill people over paint, man. Share the paint.
That's just share your
Or if
crayon.
somebody has historically significant spiritual paint, leave that paint alone.
Yes.
Go get some other ochre.
There's awesome color matching technology.
Especially now. So, weird things, but yes, that's what I'm doing lately.
Okay. I don't know. That was weird.
What?
We
it's just a thing that happened that I'm reading about. I don't know
we
what to tell you.
deviate.
So this is this first layer, and you can just see I'm just working my brush stroke, and I'm just blending it around. Look at that. Now I've got that next layer. Not a fun layer. Da-da-da. A little more white in this. All right. And I'm just going to go over this stuff with a little more white and just enjoy my painting space. I really like this background. No, yeah, that's really, I'm going to do a whole thing on John. Ochre is some interesting stuff. It's the oldest paint.
The oldest paint?
It is the oldest pigment. And it was one of the first, I mean, like, if you think like in Australia, like you could trade for some very valuable stuff for some good ochre. But some of the ochre is very sacred and comes from very particular mines. And there's a whole like exodus to go there and do that. And so reading the history of the paint and how this hunger for color like created all this havoc is just crazy.
I'm such a tourist. I would love to just go see all that stuff.
I don't think they let you see it. You have to be like really invited.
And that's okay. I'm totally respectful.
I'm happily to read the book.
Yeah.
Of the person who managed to get invited.
But you know, when they do let you go see it, I want to.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm like first in line.
So I'm pulling a landing strip of my Diox purple.
Hmm?
You'd be more likely to, because I think there's also a gender, especially on the red ochres.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
I would get Passamaquoddy pink first.
Okay. I'm going to put a little pink on my brush. Can you see I kind of tipped it right there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to keep going. Look at that. Now, if it gets difficult to paint, I just flip it over. Because I worked my symmetry, I don't really have to worry about keeping that together. I just dipped in water to improve the flow. And I'm getting a little more. See, I go flip, flip. It's all pretty streaky. And it says blending on the canvas. My pressure is so light, it's like a butterfly wing is painting this. If I were to blend a lot, I would lose all the streaks in color. So I would definitely not want to do that. Over blend. So I'm pulling a little more. And I'm going to come right into this and pull. I go flip, flip, flip. And maybe a little bit of pink, because that's always so nice. There we go. This is the nicest background.
It really is.
So I really can't wait to see what we do next of your guys' paintings. This was actually started from Twitter, John.
Really?
Yeah, somebody sent me a picture that they had done of a hunting cabin and asked how they could paint it, what they could do. And I don't know, remember that weird day where I was like, I'm going to just repaint this just to explain it. And then I just repainted that cabin.
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't get permission to put it on the show.
Oh, yeah.
So we never did the segment. But I always thought it was such a great idea.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to flip it back over because I got my hues happening now. Doot, 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 doot. And a little more wet paint. And a little more purple paint. And just kind of blend these together. I like to just sort of go over them. Super fun stuff. You could do this background style in many different color stories. I was very inspired by Carly's and tried to kind of stick with it. Almost went like yellow, but I was like, oh, it's been done. So done. All right, so we're doing pretty good there. Oh, it's looking pretty good. Crazy how it goes from this to that beautiful background though, right?
Yeah.
It's all layers. Everything's in the layers.
What was the title of the book you mentioned?
That I'm reading right now, A History of Color by Victoria Finlay.
Huh.
It is one of the few art books I actually think is worth its money. Mm-hmm. I do. I think it'd be good. It'd be a good art book. I'm sure Victoria Finlay does not care that I think that, but I do! There's a big picture book that's okay, but it's a chapter book that's worth reading. No, because that was her whole life thing, was finding the history and origin of colors, and there's almost nothing more interesting in art than where pigment comes from.
That's very true.
And also sometimes more brutal. Yeah. So, like, it used to be really hard to get black. Right? Puritanical black, hard as all get out to get. That was the one thing people would do, is they would pick a color that they were really into that nobody could make. Like, well, that's the one color we can't dye this week, so yes, everyone wear that. Because that's how fashion is, isn't it? So you can see I'm just loading with white and pigment, and then I'm just painting the brush strokes. And that's so good, and I love that. Now, I feel like it's worth it to rinse out really well and do this all again real fast and lightly as a second coat before I put in the ground and the lotus.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't think, bet you didn't see that coming. So I'm going to get right into my white and a smidge of my yellow. See how I'm coming on the edge of the yellow here? Right in my white and a smidge of my yellow. And I'm going to just start at the top. The only thing that is a little bit a challenge for me with canvas boards, canvas panels, any of these like very flat surfaces, is that the paint always gets caught at the edge for me. Because my brush strokes tend to go on and off the canvas. I'm going to just blend this out. See, I'm just blending that out. A little more yellow. So we're just blending that out.
Yeah. I want to just give we've got a lot of people coming and hanging out with here. There's over 600 people hanging out, and lots of little brushes. You know, Adam, Maya, Athena, and Lilian have all been painting along with us, and just wanted to say that they
really,
love
you
painting.
guys, that is so awesome that you're painting this painting.
So they're really excited about this, and just wanted to say, awesome Sherpa.
I have grabbed a little yellow, as you can see, and I'm coming here and I'm just brushing that up. And see, I go a little over where I was in my pink. This layering, this back and forth layering, is how you get that really gorgeous background. So once the paint is dry, you can kind of go back with paint and kind of layer over it. No, that's too much yellow. And if ever I get too much yellow, I go back and put a little white on my brush. Be like, hey, no, man, even Bob knew that that much cad was a problem. Sorry. Having a Bob day. So just pulling this around. There we go. Oh, I really, really, really like that. That's looking good. Is that a little blown out? You know what? It's always the screen, isn't it?
It's always the
ask
screen.
this every time. You have been married to me too long.
You're wireless. Come over here and take a peek.
No. Okay, yeah. Man, it does look a little blown out, but it's okay. Could be also it's late at night and I don't see that well late anymore. Okay, I'm going to pull out a little of my pink. I'm going to, this time, get just a smidge on the corner there. See that? With the yellow. Mostly pink. This is almost like a double load, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get some white. It's all pretty loosely mixed. And let's blend this layer in. Isn't that almost like magic?
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite things. I love to do this because it is. It's just like magic. And I have spent sometimes like so much time like on one canvas doing this one thing. Not because like it needed the 5th or 6th coat, but because it was just so fun to do. Grabbing a little bit of my white. See, there's the load. I got a little strong on the pink there, and when that happens, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my white, and I just come right over it. So if you get a little strong on a color, don't panic, just edit. You want to just edit it. And that little streak of yellow, that's very useful. So see, we're just starting to get this.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring my pink out a little bit. I'm going to get just into my pink and white now. Hopefully everyone is doing well.
Oh, everybody's loving this.
I'll go ahead and brush this pink color as I'm going a little bit into my purple space because they're going to layer over each other. And we're going to like it. We're going to like that layering a lot. That's how we're going to create a blended look.
Althena doesn't believe you're live.
What?
Althena doesn't believe you're live. She's like, you can't be live. It's 10:30 at night.
Hi, Althena. Yeah. I don't know what's happening in my life right now. It's the latest live painting ever.
But it's an awesome one. So we had to do it.
We had to do it. I was like, I'm not giving up. She's too good. She's too fabulous. She speaks to me. Like, I think she did. I think at one point she actually was talking to me. She was telling me, like, what was important to her and not to mess it up. So I was like, okay. The painting, not the the Sherpa head I was repainting her stuff from. All right, so that's starting to look pretty bombastic. All right, we're coming out. I love the pink over the purple so much. I'm going to come out a little bit with that. We'll flip this over. And I just kind of make sure that that's there a little bit, right? We got to have a little bit there. There. What's there? Some stuff over there. I know I unexpectedly also modded a bunch of people, so that must have been interesting.
Yeah, it was one of those, hey, we should do this.
And then I just went and did it, and everyone's like, wait, you did it already? I was like, oh, was that not a thing today? Okay.
So, if you found some extra wrenches laying on the floor, that's what happened today.
Now I'm going to come back with a little bit of my purple, and then I'm going to put my little line back in and get my lotus going. My energy lotus. Can I have some coffee? Did you have, well, you probably don't drink coffee at 10:30 at night.
I know this is sort of one of those things where the show can't go on without you, so you can just sort of drink your coffee and we'll wait. And you know what?
It needs to be heated. That sucks.
You need to microwave it.
Like in a second, yeah. It's just that I forgot to turn the heater on that Alan gifted us. All right, I'm going to pull my purple and white together again. See how we do? Purple and white. It's quite light. It's really nice. Let's come in and just very lightly brush this part of it. And you can always get on the edge of the brush to be like very controlled, or on the wide if you want, you know, a bigger berth. So just feel like you've got a handle on it if you need it. Flow along, flow along, flow along. So is everybody good with their hair?
Yes.
Good.
I haven't seen anyone say that they were not.
There's too much hair. I was so, it's like, it's just, sometimes it just happened. Now I'm going to come back with a little bit of pink because I feel like I've created too hard of a line here. Right? And I can just...
Current conversation is on coffee.
Coffee
Yes,
in the night.
Coffee
in the
and
night.
The Sherpa is powered by coffee.
The Sherpa is powered by coffee. I used to be powered by like mojitos, but not anymore.
Coffee is so much more productive.
Well, and my life almost requires it now. My life is very like, you need some coffee, girl. There's a lot to do today.
Yeah, I don't feel alive until I've had 2 cups of coffee.
Hope we have people painting with me. They're getting their purple. They're putting it over their pink.
I think so. I
I'm
think
going to flip. Well, I don't really need to flip this over because honestly down here we're going to be having that whole second layer, so we're kind of okay. What you want is you want to feel a nice balance and symmetry. I'm getting some white and some pink. You want to feel a nice balance and symmetry on both sides of this center. Just gonna, so just try to make sure that it feels like they're the same, ish. The same-ish. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking that. I'm liking that. My husband, my son came in and he's like, it's like a teardrop. It's actually another thing that the O'Keefe fans already figured out. Because I'm in that kind of a mood today, and it's Female Empowerment Day. So, yeah. Yep. Swishing my brush. Such a nice sound, isn't it? Ah, all right. So now I'm going to put in my base again, which was 7 centimeters. Or 2 3/4 inches, right?
Sounds right to me.
Let's make a little mark here. And just come across. I know where this is. So that, make my bloom go the right direction. My bloom got to bloom the right way. All right,
Yep.
so that's pretty good. So I've got that set in. You guys have yours set in?
Yeah.
Flipping it back over. All right. Now I'm going to actually get to a smaller brush. I'm going to use a number 6 bright. Now this one's long handle. So the only difference between these brushes is the length of the handle. Longer handles when you're standing or you need to get some distance from your easel. The short handles when you're creating, when you're sitting. Sometimes people don't know that that's what that's for. So I'm going to pull out some white. I may actually even put out some more white because what I want is really pure white, especially in the center. And I'm going to get a smidge of my yellow, but mostly my pure white. And I'm going to start putting in my little flower. Just those strokes in the center here are really fun. Just a little bit. A little bit. I'll be back at it, fussing with it, but it's just fun, fun, fun to do. Lightening that up a bit. Now, I'm going to rinse out. I'm going to put out my phthalo blue. My phthalo with a cane blue.
Yeah.
Phthalo blue. Phthalo. Phthalo. That was weird of me. That was also weird of me. I'm going to get a little of the phthalo on my brush.
This is what happens
When
you
I paint
keep
late.
Mogwai up after midnight.
Yeah, pretty much. Now these strokes, when I'm doing my lotus flower, I want to make sure I've got petals coming out. They're shorter here and then they go longer as they go up. So I'm going to just pull these out. Look at that. Just little petals in my bloom. And this is how I really honored her color palette right here. Because she had made some very, very specific choices about color. And I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm going to ignore that now. I might sometime. Don't be guaranteed that I'm going to keep your color palette if you like, you know, get selected sometime for I paint your painting. All right, there we go. See how we're pulling that up the side? And then I want to make sure that I'm doing the exact same thing on the other side. They don't have to be exactly matched strokes, they just have to be balanced. See, this is what our figure is doing. She has found inner peace and balance. She loves herself, she loves her body, she knows where she's going, she knows what she wants, she has it together. I wish I were her. But But you can paint the world you wish to see or the world you wish to be in your paintings. So I'm bringing this around, and you can see I'm just, look, it's a very dry brush, and I just let these kind of taper off. Because these are energy swirls. That's all we're doing there. We're just putting in some energy swirls.
That's pretty cool.
Energy, man. Energy's important, man. Game over. I don't know why I always quote aliens. It's like a wow, dating moment of my life. Dating moment. So I'm just making sure that I've got a nice little curve to this. I really could have done a whole series on this. This made me so happy. I actually could have done a whole series about her. I'm obsessed with her.
There may be more from this.
I don't know. It depends on how interested everybody else is. She may just be like in my house on my walls. But
I would say that that lots of people are very much enjoying this. This is a very well received. Everyone loves it.
Yay!
The cinnamon, I loved this when she was doing it. I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is so beautiful. Thought this was a great design.
I have to tell you, what you hang on your walls impacts you.
It's true.
You need to hang positive. Well, you don't need to, but what you look at, you're looking at all day, right? So it's sort of like the news. Like if it's all blood and violence and everything, then you stop trusting the entire world, right? Your paintings matter of what the images that you're putting up. So, you know, if you're trying to generate a positive self-image, you know, you'd want to hang artwork that reflected that. Now, as I'm coming up, you can see I'm kind of curving this brush stroke. Look at this. I flick this out. And I'm just going to taper it up. I really like this number 6 bright for this. Isn't that fun?
Oh, I think someone was asking if the PH is silent in phthalo.
Yes. Yeah, it's a hot mess how they spell it. It's like doxazine.
Yeah.
It's just a hot mess.
Yeah, the PH is silent in phthalo, which makes it really tough for anybody who spells things phonetically, like myself.
To find it, and locate it. And
let me tell you, quinacridone is no picnic either.
so I'm bringing these little petals up here. You can see this. I'm just going. And I'm taking my time with this. I'm enjoying this. Right? Her energy matters. I've got to power her up. She got to power up, guys. She's so powerful. Her energy signature is there before she shows up. That's how much her yoga class rocks. I clearly don't do any yoga.
This is some Dragon Ball Z level power up.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. She's Dragon Ball Z yoga. So by changing the scope and the narrative of this background, that really helped me kind of, I think, kind of come into the story that Carly was telling. I mean, she might have done it a different way, but it's like that idea that things can be more than what we're seeing. I'm just pulling this up. This is weirdly the color I'm thinking of adding to the pink in my hair right now, but I haven't made up my mind. I just think they go really well together. I've been painting them a lot lately thinking that would be a really good hair combo. And look at us all just coming together on a Friday night to paint. Now, as I'm going to come down, I'm going to actually bring a bunch of strokes down. I'm going to load a lot more white on here for just a second, and I'm going to just, you know, bring these down. I want to really feather these out. I don't want to hide all the pink or everything underneath. I would not enjoy that.
No.
What?
I just
make it a little more blue on here.
I hit the wrong camera button.
Don't do that.
It's all right. It wasn't like
they're still here. So
yeah, no one went anywhere. They were just like, for a minute they looked at an empty canvas. For a second.
An empty one.
Well. A palette.
I feel like I've been painting.
I switched to the palette instead of the.
It was not the quick background you suggested.
No.
But it's really beautiful.
No.
You're like, no, sweetie, it wasn't. Where's my quick background?
That's okay. This is really awesome. I mean, this looks like, you know, Goku is just like powered up in the background.
I think so. I'm super excited about this. All right, look at that. We're doing pretty good. She's powering. She's powering. She's awesome saucing. And now we're going to get right in there and rinsing. I might even get it in a second jar to make sure it's really clean. And I'm going to take my white. I'm going to load that up on my brush. And I'm going to come from inside here and just make sure that I'm feathering the inside of this power up. This is enlightenment. This is what enlightenment looks at. Like, I am enlightened, so that's how I know. Summer Guru is like, stop it. You big goof. You're not enlightened. Yeah, I am. Totally enlightened. I know the meaning of life. I got it. It's 42. Read the book. Search over. Isn't that looking lovely? So you can even do a cool little thing. You can get a little of the yellow, like tipped on an edge, and just a smidge of the blue. Right, and together they'll make a little bit of green. And then you can even add just a bit of that here, right? Look. I know, I like my background too much. Can't help it. So cool. It's so cool, John. It's my favorite. I love this, and I felt so honored to be given permission from anybody to paint their painting.
Mm-hmm.
That was really humbling, and I really appreciated it. Because you never know how someone's going to interpret it. And it was really scary, actually. I could go a really wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, so some bravery here. I'm just enforcing that. Now, I'm going to enjoy putting in the base.
The base.
It's all about the base.
This is true.
I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to go back to initially my original brush here. I'm going to get my pink and some of this white that I had from over here. And just make sure that this area is just really... The nice thing about this pink being so warm is that it just pops that blue. And when I say warm, I mean the undertone bias of the pink is got a little bit of warmth to it. So see how I'm just stroking this out and just making this nice... Look how streaky this is.
Yeah.
Right, that's wonderful. And then I'm just going to get right into my purple. Purple. More purple. Purple. Get a little bit of pink here. Purple. I love the mixy bit. It feels like alchemy a little bit sometimes. Art alchemy.
Now, art is a bit alchemy.
It is.
Now, a lot of people think it would be really great if you would paint their paintings. They're really excited about the idea of you doing this again.
This is something I really want to do as a regular segment. I really love the idea of visiting it because we can see where you guys are actually winning, where you're totally doing well. And I'm hoping that as we go through, this is going to help us as a group together to really embrace that we're very imaginative and creative. And then I'm going to come right back with a little more magenta and white. And then I get to do the blue. See how that just weaves together? I just love it.
I love it too.
Rinse. Rinse. All right. Now, I'm probably going to start it with my number 6 bright here. And I'm going to get a stronger amount of blue and a little bit of white. I'll get a little water so that I've improved the flow. I'm going to stroke right across here along my line. Now here's a weird trick that I like. It can work sometimes really well, sometimes it doesn't work that great. Tape works the best, but I don't have any in today. Because straight lines, who does those? Oh yeah, architects. Alright, so the outer edges here will be a little more white in them. And I want it to kind of come out from this base here. So I'm going to just go these little touching strokes. Like this, touch, 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 touch. And then I can just pull this down and it's sort of like a dry brush. I'm letting it skip over the background. I'm painting it upside down. Isn't that nice? And it creates this second set of space, right?
Yeah.
So now we have our landscape and our background and our sky and everything. And we have all of our colors, but we've created a lot of dynamic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I didn't tell y'all. I don't know what it's like for John to be trapped here watching me paint.
I like it.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, it's like, this is a really pretty cool gig. I watched you paint and hang out with hundreds of my best art friends. It's pretty awesome, actually.
I think so. All right, here we are. We're just, oh, look at this. We're just doing so good.
Other than minor heckling about my typing speed, you know.
Do you type slow or fast?
I don't know.
Because you're always telling me I type slow, so like if they're heckling you, oh my gosh, I'm a little worried. My daughter is at that age where watching me do anything on tech is excruciating to her. Like, seriously, like you dipped her in overly hot water, man. She's not okay with how her mom does tech.
Yep, she has to be in the driver's seat.
She's like, just let me do it. I've got it. You don't know how to do it. I'm like, I totally know how to do it. I'm a YouTuber. And she's like, yeah, kind of. I'm just going to take that little circling here. I'm going to flip this over because I want to check my balance. And I'll darken this a bit in a little bit when she's sitting down.
That blue is super, like, crazy. It almost reads like it's oversaturating.
But it's not. That's just, it's the board, it's the paint, it's the deal.
It's crazy how it just, wow.
Ooh, it's just a thing. I'm just a bill. I'm only a bill. Sorry. Doesn't everyone else sing Schoolhouse Rock just randomly for no reason? Oh, here we go. I can't believe we're doing a late night live.
I know. All of our Australian friends are up. Even little Josie is up to see you.
Josie's up. Hi, Josie.
So
hi, Kate.
It's so nice.
I bet if Kate's here or Janine's here, I bet they had a lot to say about ochre in Australia because there's a whole history there.
They're thinking it's pretty cool.
All right. Here we go. So I've got a little balance down there. Now the bottom's weighted. You know? Rinse. It's a great time to adjust anything that's bothering you, to look at anything and say, oh, do I need to change it? Do I like it? You know, what's happening? So this is a good time to just make little thoughts. A thought over here. All right. Now, let's dry our canvas, and then I'm going to show you how I transfer the image on. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I drew her and what I did to get the design.
Okay.
And John will talk to you about stuff about ampersand, because he said when I'm drawing, he'll talk to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell him about drying stuff, for sure. Okay. Make sure it's working. Okay. So, yeah. So, one of the things that be known is when you're drawing your canvas, you should make sure, or your gesso board, or whatever it is you're painting with acrylic paint, make sure that you are using your hair dryer on the lowest heat setting, because you don't want to introduce a lot of heat to it, because it's acrylic paint, and that can cause some discoloration. It can cause shrinkage. Not so much in your higher quality or professional paints, but certainly in your student and budget paints, you can see some of that, and that discoloration can be noticeable. So lowest heat settings, just use air, because that's what actually helps it cure anyway. Check in the links in the description down below, because you'll find the traceable and a link to our website where you have all the materials and all of the cool stuff. And we'll have this reference photo and all the original things. And yes, now on the cool, what I was going to say earlier is the ampersand panels. The cool thing that's different about them than a canvas is that they're smooth, right? So a panel is perfectly smooth, where if you think a canvas is textured, and textured surfaces diffract light, whereas a smooth surfaces reflect it more smoothly. So you end up with brighter colors, because a smooth panel reflects light more evenly than a canvas that diffracts it.
Oh, did you science them?
Yes, I did.
You sounded super sciencey, John.
Well, I was saying you shouldn't use high heat on acrylic paint, and that smooth surfaces reflect better than rough surfaces. And there's some science that was cool. What are you doing?
I am taping my trace of... Oh, well, here's a couple things I want to say. So this is the drawing that I created for this design.
Yep.
And basically what I do is I do loose sketches, and then I have elements that I like, and I use the tracing paper to layer, and eventually it comes together to create this piece. Now, I had put in some hoop earrings and then didn't paint them because I was like, I don't really dig them, but I love the idea of them in the drawing, so that was very strange. The other thing that I really spent a lot of time with was looking at how people do this hand positioning, and how was I going to share that information. And also important to me is this bit right here. So we have this beautiful full head of hair, and I wanted to like take that so far that she's like all we're getting to see of her is just this beautiful mouth and this little bit of face that we know is like amazing, right? And by doing this, the reason that I like to do this sometimes is by obscuring features, you let her be all women. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
By not specifically saying who she is, she can be more people. That's why sometimes I like to paint girls from behind, because it could be you. Not you, John, specifically, but, you know,
dude,
the people
if I
who are
could have
painting.
hair like that,
I know you would.
I would totally do it.
He's not even kidding. I cannot tell you how many avatars he's had in game that have had big hair. It's like a whole thing for John. So,
you know, it's too much Daft Punk.
And he has very thick curly hair if you know him, and if he cuts it short at all, it kind of does this. So
Yeah.
He's pretty hooked up in this area. I have rubbed the back of this paper, if you'll see, with a pencil. The positives of this is it makes a nice transfer. The negative of this is that it can smudge or dirty up my canvas. You can also use transfer paper. I just only had yellow, and obviously yellow does not show well on yellow. So I needed some white. I don't have the white. Yellow. Not effective. And black is the same problem as the pencil. So yeah, and the other thing is, like, when I was doing her hair, and I was trying to find like really body positive, self-positive, affirming kind of different ideas around this and hairstyles, and I actually saw my friend Chanel on the feed, and she always has she's got a lot going on. So I was like, oh, that's what I gotta do. I gotta go for the full thing. So hopefully that kind of puts into context about like how I took the idea, right? Because I saw here, you know, she and I had a similar feeling. I just went a little arty with it.
No, I like it.
Do you like it?
I love it. I told you that before. You saw that?
He does like it.
I do.
He wants me to do it on big canvas for the house.
I do. We have these wonderful large ampersand panel boards.
They're huge.
They're huge.
Huge. Where did my colored pencil go? I sharpened one for this specifically. I'm going to sip my coffee and wander off for it.
Oh, no.
Yep, that's okay. You say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. The Sherpa has wandered off and left me here to talk to you and
like you do.
Switch cameras and show you how I can zoom in and out and go right and left. I can show you this over here. This is where
Can
she
they
keeps
still
her
hear me
paint.
while I'm over here?
Yeah, they can hear you.
That's crazy.
She's microwaving her coffee.
This
I
could
can
be
hear.
bad, but also good.
And
You gotta remember to take this thing off if you go to the bathroom.
yes, yeah.
I'm just saying. That would be a lot of information in one
so many
video.
audio guys, and so like look there we have picture in picture. I can do that, and I can show you the palette again, and back over here to RoboCam where I can go over, and you should
John's
really
just desperately
should.
talking to everybody.
I don't
He's
know
like, this
why
is not cool, man.
No, this is not cool, man. I don't know why she should have given me the microwave.
I'm coming back. I got a pencil.
This is an awfully long time.
I'm sorry. Wireless is like, it's just amazing.
This is like you should have saved
So I'm
that
going to do this for you guys because you showed up late at night and we don't have our Texas snowflakes hooked up. We are Sherpa. Like City comes, don't stress me out. I'm painting to relax. Don't act like you're going to leave. All right. So when you print out your traceable, do the image full, like take it all the way to the edge, right? And you want to make sure that you've got her feet and the top of the flame there. I would say you could lose the top of the flame, and then it's very easy to place her on the canvas. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to trace over the lines that I have here. And hopefully, if we are lucky, this is going to leave a... Now, I did 2 lines on her belly for you guys. One is yoga pants folded over, and one is hip huggers. I painted hip huggers. But I know some of y'all are modest, so I was like, let's give them a yoga pant. Okay? But, you know, she's like, I got a belly button and I'm showing it. That's happening. Mostly because I don't show my belly button anymore. So that's what's going on with me. I loved this design on this top, which I just imagined. Like, this literally was just my imagination.
You were just like, I think this is what she shall wear.
Yeah. Almost thought about going into clothing design school. But it was pointed out to me that one should be fashionable if one is going to make fashion. Oh. But now I know I could have just made whack job wear. I love her little toes. I love her feet. Feet are very important to me. One of the first artists that I became really obsessed with was a man named R.C. Gorman out of Taos, New Mexico. And he really focused on women's feet. And I don't know, man. It spoke to me. I'm like, give me a foot. She's got great foot. Eat those chili peppers. You have great foot. So the trick with this is like, before I did a colored pencil so I could see where I'd been, I had to switch to a regular pencil because I lost my colored pencil. Alright, I love the thumb and forefinger. It makes me super happy. Just defining up my little hand here. Now when I do her hair, I do an interesting thing because I want a really light edge here. What I was trying to say is that she had this beautiful dark mass of hair, but there was this light and it was lighting up the outer edges. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about. Spent too much time on Instagram. Clearly. So there's my little ball on my nose. I got my little nostrils here. Truth is, I'm going to paint all that out. But now, on her head, I'm actually going to paint it above where it shows so that I can bring the hair down in little tendrils. if that makes sense to everybody.
The fiery tendrils.
And if you love the earrings, definitely keep them. I put them in. I thought they were saucy. I liked with the outfit, but then I was like, when I got into her hair, I'm like, she's got so much going on with her hair. I just want to do hair.
Yeah.
Like, she reminds me of like Medusa from the Inhumans, but much cooler. Well, because Medusa's kind of like, I know she was different in the comic, but in the TV show, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it takes her a little while to be a little bit decent.
I can't spoil it. I fell asleep in the beginning of all of them.
Yeah, I love the doggo. I do.
I just
don't know why they're living on the moon. There's a lot I don't get about the show, but I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. No, I'm too tired.
Now, when I want to know where her hair is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to very lightly, in from the outer edge, right, sketch out the little circle that is the densest part of what would be the hair mass here. Right? And then I'm going to just give myself a little circle here and here. Okay, wish me luck. If I did a good job, we should have enough information to paint a painting. The reveal.
Now, when you did the face on this, you had designed it so you had obscured some of the.
Yeah. Her face is obscured by her hair.
And that's so that it's more anonymous per se.
Well, what I like about it is that it's a very strong statement visually, graphically. It also allows, a person to look and see themselves as her. Because if you do a person from behind, or you don't necessarily give really identifying features, then people can put themselves in the paintings. When I was first doing the Umbrella Girls, and I was one of the first people putting Umbrella Girls out, that's what I loved about the image. There's a painting in a friend of ours' place that I wish I could show you. It was just so amazing. I did this. It was like my come out of Canada painting and be strong and just the body and the lines. But the idea is that from behind it was every girl.
Mm-hmm.
See, so she can be every girl plus hair. We need to have a lot of positive hair enforcement.
Yes. Yes. Because that is some. Well, I have lots of colorful words, but we'll say wickedly cool hair.
That's right. But the idea that, we don't get to embrace who we are, I'm just like, I'm not for it. So can you see how this is like this here? It's like the graphite. And it's a bit of a problem. Sometimes you can erase it up. I don't have the right eraser for that. Well, I mean, I do, but all right, I'm going to go get it.
Wait, no, I tell you what, I'm gonna take away that wireless microphone.
I'm fine. I'm just looking for an eraser. Oh my gosh. The kids took my erasers.
Get like one of the steel cables that we use to tether the lights
took my erasers
to the gobo heads up that hang over the ceiling on her. See, and we're gonna tether her to the easel.
You can tether me to the easel?
So she can't do this. So
I'm going to get an eraser.
We start looking around for her. And we're like, is the Sherpa
It just
down
panics,
here?
John.
Nope, there she is.
So I'm going to rub my eraser on my burlap here to get any kind of weird graphite or dirt off. So it's sort of clean. And I'm going to see if I can pick this up. This isn't the one I was looking for. Oh, yeah, okay. But it's, dry enough to be coming up. And so I can kind of clean up this. That's why in general we don't do graphite. It's not that it's like, it can bleed up through the paint and it can be kind of a pain, like it is right here. Alright, here we go. Oh my goodness. So she's ready to be painted in. Now I'm going to put out my colors for my skin tones. I have lots and lots and lots of videos on skin tones.
Yes.
Right? Actually, I'm going to make a nice neat palette.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to make a neat palette. You guys don't do this, but I'm going to do this because I need my palette to be neat.
Oh, noes.
You're okay. All right.
We'll survive it.
Where did the burnt umber go? It's underneath my papers. Okay. So I worked her skin tone. I wanted a much darker skin tone. I think that, you know, we've covered some different skin tones on the channel. We have a bunch of videos on all kinds of different skin tones and hair colors and everything. So you can customize her to reflect you in any way that you like. I do think when you're painting something, you should be able to customize a painting and change it up to be reflective of your experience, in my humble opinion. I'm getting different, look at this white. This is a hot mess. It's a hot mess. This is, the only thing that I struggle with golden paint is I just can't handle the caps. Did somebody call them? Wasn't there somebody called them and said, hey, we got caps for you?
Yeah. I think actually we've had a couple of people who are like, hey, we think we can help with this cap thing. And you know what?
That's awesome.
Actually, and I think Golden was like, yeah, actually.
So I'll take, if you can do it, we'll take it. I'll tell you all the colors I'm putting out as soon as I get them out.
So
I will not hide it from you. Not
that we're trying to help solve their problems, but I just think that they were just like, I think that they were touched that we thought that our community was like thinking of them. That's, you know.
Yeah, I think they appreciate that. They appreciate all the nice letters and thank yous and everything that you guys send them. They think that's pretty cool. Now, I actually have a couple interesting secret weapons here. I have Golden Fluid black paint. I have burnt sienna in this. Yes, you can use just whatever burnt sienna or black that you have. This just makes this easier for me to get these fine lines on the hair. They also have a little bit of white, you know, if I need it. If I need it. A smidgy of the phthalo green. And I've got some zinc white, which can be very nice on skin tones. But I think, well, no, I'll put a little bit out. You don't have to have it. It's definitely optional for this project. Or did I remove it or did I leave it? Okay, there it is. So the titanium white's very opaque and the zinc white is very transparent and a little pearlescent. It's quite nice. And it can also be nice to have a little glazing liquid out. This slows down the drying time of your paint and lets you do glazes. And I'm going to put my fluid black. You could do heavy body black. And I'm going to put out my fluid burnt sienna. I'm going to say something real quick about skin tones. When you're painting dark skin, you cannot paint it in the same methodology that you paint your pan skin. So when I'm painting somebody who's very fair like myself, I'm just sort of lightening or darkening my base master skin tone with a couple mixes. But with very dark skin, if you want it to look lit up, if you want this person to feel like very, very like alive and not undead ashy, you don't want to be just adding white to these mixtures. You're going to be working in the ochres and the oranges. And remember, the darker the skin is, the more it reflects the colors and light around it.
Gotcha.
So that's what's happening when you're there. So like, if ever you've been trying to paint really dark skin, you're like, man, this is just really like kind of undeadish. What it is that you're trying to lighten and darken. And that's because most classes teach from a European sensibility. But that isn't how that works.
Well, yeah, that's pretty good to know.
It's good to know.
No,
the more you know.
Real quick on this background, Stephanie was asking. Stephanie Barlow was asking.
Stephanie.
I thought
Stephanie B.
She says
Barlow. Because now there's a bunch of bees.
There is. Does the water-soluble kind of graphite run the same risks of bleeding through as regular graphite?
I don't know, Stephanie. You've come to a cul-de-sac that Sherpa doesn't know, mostly because I haven't tested it.
We'll get some and find out.
I have some. I'll see if it'll structurally induce discolor.
We'll find out. I'll
go for that. I'm into that.
Viewers like us would like to know.
Like us would like to know. This is a number 4 Cambridge Bright. This has a mix of filaments and bristles. So it gives you a nice scratchy texture. I have cad yellow medium, cad orange, burnt umber, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, cad red medium, quinacridone magenta, phthalo green, titanium white, glazy medium, zinc white, and this is carbon black, but Mars black is just fine.
And what's the difference? One came from Mars.
Carbon black is deeper and shiny, and Mars black is warmer and matte.
Ooh.
Ooh, things you know.
I did not know that.
You did not know that, but now you do. So before I put in her hair, you know, all the way, I want to definitely start to get in her face. And I know I went to all the trouble of getting these beautiful features in. I'm going to have to go ahead and put those back again raw later.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to start working her skin tones because layering on her is going to give her the depth that I need for everything so I can get the reflections and make her just seem really lush. So that's my next plan.
That seems like a good
Is that
plan.
a good plan?
I like it.
I like it too. So one of the first things that I'm going to do, and it's going to be a little counterintuitive, is I'm going to take a little of my burnt umber and just a smidge of my black. I don't want it to be black. She's not a silhouette. And we're not going to take her we're not going to take her into that bluish black skin. Because that is a very advanced thing to paint. You might not know that. But that is, you've got to really pay attention to your values and your lights then.
I have to say it's been very interesting watching you go through these studies and this has been really, you know, like learning that, you know, you like what you were saying about not lightening and like you paint in the reflection, not like lighten it for the reflection.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're raising it up, you just don't do it with white, you would do it with like yellow. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see because it's late at night and my mind is tired.
Oh man.
All right.
My button pushing is tired.
So see how streaky this is?
Yep.
This is another issue when you're painting darker skin tones, is the browns that you use are often very transparent and they're streaky. And so that can be frustrating for new artists. They don't realize like this is just par for the course. This is just what we're doing. And this is coat number 1. Now I'm going to take out some of my detail here because I'm going to be painting it right back in. I don't want to lose her arms. I thought it was very important. She's in yoga. She's totally showing up. She's doing her sun salutations. She's completely enlightened. She's got good arms. I should get good arms. It's like, that's so weird.
You have great arms. I don't know what you mean by I get good arms.
I don't know, like arms that do push-ups and planks and stuff. I don't do any push-ups or planks.
But it's only because you don't do them.
I don't do them at all, man.
But I mean, I have to say
Can you imagine how much would have to go wrong in my day for me to be doing a push-up or a plank?
I would have to say that you could probably arm wrestle most people because your right arm's pretty strong.
Well, it's got some stamina at this point.
It's true.
But just see how just totally scratchy that is? Now, if I used a smoother brush, it would be a little bit smoother, but I'm going to be doing some really cool stuff with her hair. So that's why I got to get this first coat in anyway, so I might as well just go for it, right? The other thing that I'm doing is I'm not quite painting all the way to the outer edge of my tracing line, and that's because I'm going to be doing that with the detail work, and I don't want her arms to get overly thick on me because it's harder to thin them because of the complicated background. I got to get some of this on her belly, her beautiful, beautiful belly. Now, those of you that watch Steven Universe will be like, dude, you got influenced.
There's a couple people who watch that show.
So influenced. I think that's maybe one of my favorite shows out there. And I love the artwork and I love the style. And I think that they do good work. All right, now when I get to the feet, I've got to do a smaller brush simply because there's so much detail work. So I'm going to rinse this out for just a second, and I'm going to get the feet and the hands in, and then actually what I can do before I do the feet and the hands, I rinse it out. Here's your first layer. Are you ready for your first layer? Pay attention to brush directionality. We are going to do bangs. Right? See how I'm pulling this out? This layering, this matters. There we go. Pulling that out. And if you boo-booed anything, it's a good time to fix it. I don't want to go all the way to the edge. I want to go about halfway into my circle, which we know is also reduced. So I've got lots of room to create a lot of hair drama. And you need some drama llama hair. And I'm sure there are people looking at me going, how is she on about natural hair? Her hair is pink. I just think people should be able to have any hair they want and be supported for it. That's all I'm saying. Every woman should feel beautiful in her hair. Just period. Every woman should feel beautiful in her hair, and every woman should feel beautiful in her skin. And every woman should be validated for who she is exactly, not needing to conform to some idea for advertisers.
Yeah.
I'm on that a little bit lately. John's been listening to it.
I do not disagree.
No. Because it would be dangerous in our house.
Sometimes you just don't share opinions, even if they...
So this is what this is. And see how I'm giving this edge? This is going to let me come do the curls and the little detail work at her outer edges. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got nice edges. I'm so proud of this piece.
It really is good.
It was a really good collaboration. I like collaborating with my community. You guys are amazing.
Well, the best community.
Best ever on YouTube. All our communities suck. No, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, no, seriously, yeah. I've been around. All of the communities suck. You guys are the best. I'm sure you've seen it in other lives. I feel bad for them. I'm like, oh man, that must be hard. You know, like, what's your community like? Oh, super awesome. My community's amazing.
To be the Bergions at their beach retreat watching.
Oh, are they there?
Yeah.
Woohoo, Bergerons, the other bees. That's the other Stephanie bee. And what's crazy is, did you know both Stephanie bees live near each other?
And I know that was like, and
so I'm going to take this umber onto my brush.
I'm not going to geek out because there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened at Made It Con where we were just like, wait a minute, we didn't even know we were sitting next to these people, and like, wait, awesome, what?
See how I'm doing this little fade here?
Okay.
Just a little bit. You need to leave room for your lit up edges. I'm blending it by brush stroke. This little bit of deep brown, this is a big deal, because if we're going to sit there and say that the edges of her hair are getting caught in the light, we need to leave room for the edges. I love hair when it gets caught in sunlight and it goes like on fire orange. It's like my favorite thing. I stare at strangers in a really inappropriate way. They'll be like, why is that woman drilling her eyes into me? And I'm just like, wow, I wonder how I'd paint that lit up hair. Then the cops come and take me away from the pier. And you know what doesn't work? Sir, I'm just an artist. I was just trying to study the light. They don't buy that. Just to be careful, I'm going to make sure I load up with a little more black and hit this with just a second coat so it's thick, so it's rich, so it's beautiful. How are you guys doing?
Good. Really good.
All right. I think we're doing okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. I think we're almost there. I just want to make sure that she's not, she's got a mane. This is like a whole, she's like embraced the thing. Did you see the ad with the girl with the cloud hair, John?
No.
It looked like a cloud. And then they made it light up. I don't know, with some phone ad. Lately, ads have been confusing the heck out of me. I don't know what they're about. I'll be like, why was that about cars? All right. So I've got a nice deep root shadow. I've got, can you even see already, like it's kind of lit up? Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cool? I think it's, oh, sorry, I get excited. All right, I'm going to rinse this little sucker out. And put this to the side because I love that little guy. Going to get my detail stuff out. I'm gonna work initially. It's going to be all about these two. So this next bit I'm going to do is all about these two. This is a number 2 bright ruby satin. Just got a beautiful little sharp edge. And this actually comes in my Galaxy set. But what you want is a 1. You could do this with a number 1 TheArtSherpa round. You could do this with a 0. This is a nice 0. Gives you a beautiful little point, and that will help get you through. I'm going to mist my paint because I'm sure it's drying. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Are we doing good?
Very good.
Very good. I'm going to paint in those phthals. Little phthals. Little phthals. So that was a little bit of the black into the brown, but remember, we're not painting a silhouette. We're painting a base for her. And I'm going to very carefully, very carefully, because my traceable is a little hard to see right now, paint in her foot. Paint in her foot. And her little ankle here. Let's bring this down. And again, you can see that the brown is real transparent, right? But when we come with the next layers, oh my gosh, she comes alive. It is the best. This is not as good of a way of doing this as, say, like an umber study, an umber wash, but that's a very time-intensive process. And I feel like this really gets us there. There's never just one way to get something done. Now I'm going to pop her little ankle here because, you know, she's got 2. Make sure I got a ball of foot. Little curve. Feet are important. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yes.
In that abstract, you know,
feet are important.
That locomotion thing, it gets you around.
It's very critical. I'm going to tap in a little toe here, tap in another little toe, tap in another little toe. Right now it looks like little socks. You know those little socks with toes? The other leg I either have to make darker or lighter because I have to be able to tell the 2 legs apart. So in this one particular case, I'm going to go way more black with it just so I can see them easily, and then that'll leave me lots and lots of room to have the shadow. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. She's looking good. Tapping into these toes. And coming here. So this is just a little bit darker than I would normally like, but it lets me remember where that is. Sometimes you got to leave yourself a little breadcrumb to get through, right?
Yeah.
I'm tapping in a little toe. A little toe. Alright, now I gotta get into her hands, so back into the brown. I'm gonna go like anything that I get a chance to fill in, I can use this nice sharp brush to give it a nice, beautiful edge. See how we're getting nice edges?
Yeah.
Beautiful arms from all those push-ups, poses. And get the little hands done with my detail. But first I just want to clean this up and make sure I'm real happy with her arms. Her shoulders. She's got good shoulders too, doesn't she? I'm so weird. Look at her shoulders. I'm like all into my own paint. It's really good. I just really want to thank you guys for this idea. Privilege of getting to paint her. Because this isn't something I would have thought of organically, like on my own. If that makes sense. I wasn't like, you know, I'm going to get some of my black into my brown. I'm going to take my whole palette over, but everything I'm about to do is just my black and my brown, guys. So you don't need to see the mix. I'm just going to paint that in. Get your delicate little fingers, or what the heck are we doing here? So I can just easily get to my palette then. Is anyone really here, John? This is really late.
Yeah.
It feels so weird. It's like
No,
so late.
this is everyone's very, very here. This is very awesome. I am just like,
Tired?
I think I'm on many hours awake. So,
Late night is not your favorite live?
Well, no, I really like it, but what happens is I fall into that like Zen state of watching you and sort of just kind of zone out, and I'm like,
Something happened, but I don't know what it is anymore.
I'm just watching and kind of like being chill because I'm all enjoying watching this. So I think that's all that's happened.
That's all that's happened?
As I've gotten kind of tired and watching, because it's a very chill painting.
She is. She's just super chill, but she's powerful.
It's true.
Yeah, but in a very chill sense. She does it effortlessly.
Yeah. No, we had 555 people here. I just saw 555. I like when the numbers roll by like that. So, yeah, but we
were like, I gotta go to bed, y'all.
Yeah, no, we've had between 550 and 600 people here hanging out.
All right, so we got that first base hand in. Isn't it nice when it goes in?
Yeah.
I love the delicate positioning between the finger and the thumb. It's just like so awesome. So that was a lot of fun for me to draw. If you're really struggling with hands, really the only thing for it is to do a notebook of hands. You just got to draw them a lot.
Practice.
Yeah, this is definitely practice, not magic, as Zoe says.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to say.
Practice, not magic, guys. Just getting into the palm. And this first one is just trying to make sure I have that first layer of skin there, right?
Yep.
You got to get these first layers in if you're going to want to get anything else worked out. And then it's all mellow. Little fingers in. My little fingers have friends. Finger friends! Hi, friend, I'm a finger too! Man, that's so cool! Let's all be fingers together! It's like my whole thing just went yo gabba gabba. Is that funny?
Yeah.
Then you can take this little detail brush and just make sure that you're happy with the smoothness of your lines. Right? You can fix anything that you weren't like, oh, I was loving, and, correct anything that you have going on. And now is also a good time to put in, other elements of the painting. There we go. I'm so glad there's a coloring page for her. I'm really into her. Okay, let's put in a top. Her top is really cool. Her top and her lipstick is a secret thing that I do.
How is it secret?
It's secret. I'm gonna put this water aside because I need some. These are pinks. So my fire and my pinks need clean water. Take Cad Red and Quinacridone Magenta together. They make the coolest color ever. Ever. You can kind of like get it with just a little bit of white. You can see how it pulls it up. That's the zinc white. You can also do it with the titanium. That's fine too. The zinc just keeps it from being too changed. But look at that. On her skin, is that not like crazy how that pops? I knew it for the lipstick. I was like, this is the thing right here. And it was reflective, in a sense, of the background that she was in.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just making sure that I'm painting in that first layer of top. Crop top. Tops for people who do sit-ups. I used to be one of those people, but then I stopped doing all the sit-ups. They never end. There wasn't like a completion date.
Yeah, I kept waiting for them to say, okay, you've done doing sit-ups, no more.
No more.
You've done all of them. But no.
You're good. No, they just kept going on and on. I was like, really? We're never going to stop?
They said the same thing with push-ups.
Did they?
I was like, no, I don't like that game.
It's a terrible game. So I'm going to take a little of my green here, my phthalo green, into my yellow ochre. Like you do.
Okay, I have to go.
What?
I can't see where you went.
Oh, I'm just getting my... I just want people to see it, but I'm painting like right here.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm close to the canvas. I'm going to brush across for the knee. Come down for the thigh. And she's got a nice little bit of pant leg here. There you go. That's what you do. And you can see again, we've got similar problems with our green, don't we? Transparency. So colors are either opaque or transparent. And transparent colors are harder to muddy, but they have that transparent glazy thing. So when you want it, it's the best ever. And if you don't want it, it's like frustration. And that's why yellow ochre makes a nice combo for this, because it helps the coverage. Even though it's a little transparent too. So many transparent things. And across here for the leg. So even though we didn't do a big art quest this week, look what we did a girl. And she's kind of a fantasy fairy tale girl. So that kind of counts, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, don't put it in the quest. Definitely goes in the TheArtSherpa official. Don't miss post, man. I can't handle the work. And I gotta tell y'all, if I ever remove anything or anything happens, I'm not picking on you. It's just the work. Some things make a lot of work for me. Some things do not. Make sure that's a nice. See, she's got the down low hip hugger style. Making sure we're all settled. Guess what I get to do?
What's that?
Start working on her face again. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put this because I don't want the water back over here. I'm gonna put this down. Here we go. I'm gonna sip my coffee. Everybody holding on okay?
Very much so.
Challenge accepted, internets. Challenge that the internet in no way gave me, that I gave myself. So that's some silliness. When you challenge yourself for just because you did. Alrighty now. So on her skin, my base recipe is going to be yellow ochre, burnt umber. See, isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Want it to be dark, but the dark base is really going to help me. A little bit of the orange, cad orange. And I actually like to get a little of my magenta in here.
What does that do?
It just roses it up a bit. A skin color like regular color has a bias. It's warm or it's cool, and so I like to try to get that into my skin mixes. So here, I'm going to start, and I like to initially come across and sort of follow the shape of the face. So she's going to look, you know how like the faceless abstract girls are like super hot right now?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to have a bit of that going on. But you can see already that this has just created a much warmer skin. And then as you're going, I can then get like just my burnt umber right on my brush. See how I've got that? And make sure that this side of the face, here we go, look at that. Let this come up the half. Oh, what's that? Yeah, I just shaped a face. It's my favorite, John. So now she's got kind of like a thing going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the neck. One of the things that I'll say is you want to definitely do your darker brown for the neck at first and under the jaw. to give everything shape. So that's another coat right here. Kind of bring that around the bottom of the chin. See how I'm doing?
Yeah.
And the trick is just working out these browns. Work them out, man. If they want to mess with you, you don't let them do it. You don't let them do it. You say, no, brown. That's not happening today. I'm going to just even bring some shading right there. Even though I know I've got hair and everything coming, I just like to shade things. You should like to shade things too. I'm going to pull some of this down at her chest right here. And I like this dark color a little bit too, this burnt umber. Just a little bit under her crop top. To the belly button line. Not everything there, just to the belly button line. I like that to be in shadow. So back into my base skin mix that I has. Right. Isn't this a lovely, I mean, it's just really nice. Other than brown being a big pain in the patookus, it's a really beautiful skin tone.
Now, what brush are you using there?
I'm just using my number 2 Bright from Ruby Satin. It's a nice size for the canvas. I'm going to come up the left side of her neck and just pull this lighter brown like across. See how I'm doing? Just take this down here. Just lightly feather it here. And let's work out the arms. This is good, right? Sometimes it's nice to keep your brush stroke, especially with paints that are running more transparent, to the direction of the shape of the object that you're working. She's not, and you'll see the warmth in her skin. And that is really special. Come into the arm. And be very neat here, and you can see that the 2 coats really help it happen. That is a lot of why the umber wash is super necessary. I'm going to just kind of get some of this up here on the hand where I have enough control over my brush to do so. Just that second coat. I don't want to go anywhere it can't, handle it. So I'm going to just make sure I've got that second coat there. Get some more of that base coat.
Well, Lynn's really appreciating this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yay, Lynn!
She was disheartened by not being able to, or having good resources to be able to paint skin of color.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple really amazing channels on YouTube, and there's a couple great resources. There's a few artists that are really, like, changing the game. But I think that's just like the big thing is like that it's the wrong thinking. It's like when, sometimes like in art school, somebody comes in with like a left hand, they'll be like, oh, we'll just do it like right-handed but backwards. That's not really advice. Doesn't have anything to do with anything. And in art, what you're painting, you're just painting.
Yeah.
You're just trying to see like how it's shaded, what colors you'd use, all of that.
That's
the advice you need.
I love listening to artists describe painting skin color because they're so afraid of offending people.
But they're trying to relay the information that you need.
Right, because they're like, they could be describing painting someone who's green and like not have any emotional load on the quantitative state of the color of green, but they're trying to be as delicate because you might have
the internet is like that.
Yeah, so difficult.
So difficult. I'm bringing this little brown up even though I've got the shadow here, so that's going to give her belly some shape, right? She's going to have a little bit of roundness to her. You don't want to take away her shape. That would be crazy. And she wouldn't have it either. She would tell you no. So yeah, it is, and I think it's good to challenge yourself to stuff that is, maybe harder for you. I say that, and I still don't paint cars, so do as I say, not as I do. Don't make me paint cars. I might end up doing it just to face it, but that's a lot of times as an artist, that's what you've got to do. If you're having trouble with hands, you got to paint hands. If you're having trouble with skin colors, start mixing skin colors. By the way, if you guys want the best information on skin color, besides me, which of course is awesome, mine is super awesome information on skin color. I got tons of videos. But if you need more, check the digital artists. Sometimes the digital artists have access to a methodology of explaining things that just make you go, oh yeah, that's exactly how that works.
I think it's called being blunt.
Well, they're blunt, and I think also their tools create a scenario where they've got to.
Yeah, not in a bad way, but they're just like, get to the point.
Yeah, because they're digital. And they are painters, and they are artists. Any idea, like when people are like, they're just digital artists. No, total artists. But sometimes they just have a different way of looking at the problem because they have a different set of tools to solve it. And they can be a great resource. But often traditional painters won't utilize them because they don't think it's related. All right, let's get this ankle. I always like to get the ankle coming up the leg. And I like to definitely brush stroke, on the leg, the direction it needs to be, to kind of enforce that shape. Oh, I love her. It's so important to love your painting and the subjects of your painting. You have to have love for them. It's and it conveys. You can tell when somebody loves their subject, and you can tell when they don't. Again, see me do cars. My cars are lifeless and kind of wonky and not roadworthy. So I'm just saying, it's everybody has a thing. We have on the big art quest, we're actually going to do, I think it's right around December, this really amazing subject with a girl who has that almost blue colored skin. And I'm really looking forward to it. Like I'm training like I'm Rocky. Dun, 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 dun. Because I'm going to nail it, explain it. It's going to be like the best ever. Tapping in these little toes, keeping my little foot shape. See, she got a little shaped foot. Her foot has like a lot of cuteness.
She's a foot-shaped foot?
She's a foot-shaped foot.
Or imagine that.
You got to have a foot-shaped foot. Better than a heart-shaped wheel.
Is it?
I don't know. I remember they had that movie about like...
It's too late to make sense.
I can't make
Sherpa's up
sense.
after dark.
So I'm going to leave a little bit of my dark line there so I can see the difference between these two. She's got her little posed little yoga foot right here. And I'm going to come back, I'm going to wipe off, and I'm going to get some of my burnt umber here. And just make sure that I'm enforcing that shadow just a bit. See what I'm doing?
Yeah.
It's kind of just diminutively there, but I'm still seeing, and I'll bring the belly down a little. Remember, it's like going to crease right here to the center. Need to smooth that out on her. Because she told me I got to handle it. She speaks to me. Alright, here we go. Oh, she's looking pretty good, guys. So while I'm here, I'm going to take a little of my green, and I'm going to get a little brown, a little green and brown like you do. And I'm going to come along this crease here. See this right here? Not all the way to the knee. And I'm going to shade that a little bit. And then I'm going to do half this leg. See how we're doing?
Yeah.
But not all the leg. Definitely shade under these little toes. Which won't be anything until we get the detail brush. But now we have some leg shape happening. You want some leg shape, right? I don't know. Maybe you don't. I want to judge your artwork.
I just want blobs at the end of my hips.
Oh.
No leg shapes.
And listen, never feel bad like this. Sometimes it's hard to do skin tones correctly. I did Moana once, and I did her in watercolor, and I forgot how much watercolor will lighten on you. It was not good. I had to apologize for the video. I was like, that's not working. Because watercolor lightens. You know, and so even when you're very, very familiar with something, stuff happens. The only way to get better at it is to practice. Be unafraid and practice. Practice, practice, practice. I'm going to just shade this right here. I really felt like the rose and the green were like totally her. I don't know if anyone else felt that too, but I was just like, she just totally needs this rose top and these green pants. Probably if I was like doing fashion design on them, I would have like had piping or something on them in this rose. A lot of thought about this, just so you know. Now this is going to finish out really pretty and really quick. I rinsed out my brush. I'm going to take a smidge of my green on here and a lot of my yellow ochre. See how light that is?
Yeah.
I'm going to come along the top here and pull that down. And then, look at that. What? Oh yeah, that just happened, didn't it? Look at that. Pants. That's where they came from. Shading. It's my favorite. Shading really helps your art. You're so quiet at late at night, John. I don't know how many late shows we could do.
I don't know either.
I'm only going because I'm so caffeinated, though.
They're giving me a hard time. They're like, John's asleep.
Are you asleep? Are you okay, babe?
I am. I don't know. Am I asleep?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I can't. There's a wall, guys. The reason John and I talk to each other the way we do is we can't actually see each other.
Maybe I'm sleep switching.
Oh, that could be really bad.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Really?
I don't think it's possible for me to actually fall asleep while doing this.
I don't know. Fall asleep during a lot of things. It could be.
There's like
you fall asleep during like exciting shows and premieres and all kinds of things we're supposed to be up for. I'm just making sure that this is nice and light. See how I'm using the yellow? And that's how I'm lightening it. Let's finish at her top. Like you do. Right? I'm going to put out a little bit of our Diox purple. Just a smidge though, and that's going to be the shading on our top. So
Caitlin, I think, in here was asking, she was saying, do we collect any big name artists or small name artists?
Yes.
And I said, well, art is expensive.
Yeah, but I got friends, and I'll cry if I really need a piece cheap. I have a Crumb, and I have some Teutons. We used to have a lot of art. We used to have a lot of my mom's art. We had a fire, so we lost a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
But we're coming back. We have the Artist Trading Card Club, which is free. You can totally join anytime, and that's kind of like adults playing pen pals. When we swap art, little tiny pieces of art. So I have a pretty big collection of ATCs now, and I have a Frugal Crafter original.
Mm-hmm.
I have a D. Willingham original portrait of me. A bunch of artwork you guys sent me. So yeah, I do collect art of other people. I'm going to put a little purple on my brush. See, isn't that gorgeous when that purple gets into the quinacridone and cad mix? It's like so nice. Okay, just underneath here, we got to shade this because this is round. They're round. And if things are round, they have to have a shadow. And just bring this along the bottom and around the sides. See how we're doing? Kind of deepening that. Now the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull a bunch of this in. Make sure I'm kind of good here. Yay, 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 yay. Tap, 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 tap. Just making sure she's got a nice line. I really was super fond of the ring. That metal ring. So what you do to get that is you're going to take this and you're going to get a little bit of your yellow ochre and some of this black brown that you have. And you're going to make this sort of dirty gold color. See that? Load that up on your number 0 brush, and I'm going to paint in this beautiful ring. We got this nice ring. Now I'm going to take my dark skin color, my darkest skin color that I've got, and I'm going to make sure that there's a shadow right here underneath the ring.
On our difficulty scale of 1 to 3.
She's a 2.
A 2?
She's definitely a 2. If you've never figure painted, she could be a 3. If you've done the big art quest, she's an easy 2. Sometimes the scale is really about perspective, like where you're at in your journey. I'm going to take this dark color again here, which is the black, if you guys remember, and the burnt umber. Now here's a weird little trick. I love these straps that come across. And so I'm going to make sure that I have a little bit of a shadow kind of showing underneath them, right? You can even take that right across the ring.
The ring.
The ring. Now, once I have that, I can take my yellow ochre, at first just the yellow ochre, and I can tap the center of the ring with my yellow ochre. See this, how I'm tapping that? That's how we're going to make it metal. And I even come between those little straps. And then I'm going to get right into my white, and even a little of my yellow here. And then I'm going to tap another little layer. Look at that. Who's got a reflection now?
Yeah.
Looks like metal now, doesn't it? You know, and you can get right into your purple and make sure that there's a little shading here. There you go. And I'm going to get my little strap color, my darkest strap color, with my little brush. Right, load up. A little more magenta. It's fun stuff. Get right on the tip of the brush. And I'm going to bring this across, making sure a little of my shadow shows. There we go. And then I can even get this and a little of my zinc. If you don't want it to be really lightened or pink, just get a little of the zinc. You can use titanium white if you don't have zinc. And I'm going to highlight my little straps. It's a weird touch, but it's important and it will help. Now while I've got my little brush here, I'm going to do some detail work on hands, feet, and belly button and face. And then boom, we get to the fun part, which is of course the hair. So I think it's very important right off the bat that we get it established that she's a beautiful little belly button right here. So I tap that as like kind of like a little backward C and I don't connect it. Sometimes it's hard to like think how would I do a belly button, but that's how I do it. Now I'm going to come underneath very lightly with this line, kind of create this little shadow right here. Just a little bit of one. I'm going to get my yellow ochre and my burnt umber and a little of my cad orange like we had before, a little of my magenta. Anybody notice the color I'm not adding to my skin tone?
Mars black?
White.
White?
We're not adding white to lighten my dark skin tone. So try to avoid it if you can. You can get away, I'll show you, with a little bit of zinc if you need it. See how it doesn't completely take it out? If you put it, get white in there, it's just gone. It gets really, really chalky.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that. That you had to use different colors to lighten and darken things.
Yeah, you've got to lighten with your yellows, and you do reflections, but you don't do this like European skin. You don't just lighten and darken your base color of skin. it will come across as not healthy or alive or how people are wanting.
Right, because reflections aren't just lightened areas. They actually have different diffracted colors.
Yeah, and the skin just has a different nature, like for light refraction. As photographers, we'll be like, no, that's a thing.
Especially as
As light goes down.
Well, infrared spectrum reflects off the surface, whereas ultraviolet was more penetrating and reflects off of your deeper veins, so you have different color refraction. Yeah, dude, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm just cleaning up the hands, right? Cleaning them up. Making sure they're nice and sharp and look good, and the fingers look good. A lot of this is that my paint is flowing off my brush. I have a lot of control over the size of the brush, as you can see, so that's not really a struggle for me. That's not where I'm like having a hard time.
They're all saying that I sound sleepy.
You do sound sleepy, John.
Do I sound sleepy?
Super sleepy.
I don't mean to sound sleepy.
I know.
I'm like, maybe it is. It's just not. I can't fake it.
You really can't.
It's 10:50 at night. My bedtime.
I'm sorry. It's been a late night.
I like it. I'm just a little sleep loopy. So you guys have to bear with Sleep Loopy Stunt Hands.
Sleep Loopy Stunt Hands. He's not a night show, man.
No, I'm totally up for a night show. You just get...
So what I'm doing is I'm creating a shadow. I've mixed my black and my brown, and I thinned it with a little bit of water so it flows off my brush. I'm just coming underneath here. Very lightly. And then this finger. So you can come to the back of that finger. Underneath the thumb. I'm going to come right in that center of the hand, and then across here. Now we're doing, just so we can see those shadows. You gotta see the shadows. Then I'm gonna go to her chin and the other hand, John. Just because you're sleepy, I feel like I gotta tell you.
You know, I'm managing to run the switcher, okay?
I hope I'm teaching the class okay, so it's like a whole thing. I feel like weird being here just like late at night, like something's gone wrong in my life.
Like self-assuredly, I'm like, well, I keep making like the camera work.
So I took my black and brown, and I'm coming like right here, just to make sure that I've got a nice little shadow under the chin, right, and around the side of the face, under the chin, and around the side of the face. And then I can come underneath here if I want to. Can even go like around where the fabric is with your shadow. These are very fine lines. This is how I'm getting this work done on her. This is how we're defining her. Let's find these little fingers. And down the arm. Because she's against such a stark background, you can do these sort of high contrast little finishes because she's outlined by that light. Mm-hmm. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the feet, John.
I see you.
I'm going to come under this foot. I'm worried about you. I actually am, sweetie.
Everybody's just, I love it. They're all helping me out.
They're like, are they just trying to tell you where I am?
No.
I'm going to make a little shin bone line there.
They're giving you moral support.
Are they moral
stay
support?
Awake.
Stay awake, you can do it, John. I'm going to define a nice big toe here. With some friends. Little ball there. Let's talk about this nice little big toe with some friends. Like even right here into this. And then we can shadow this so that foot sort of pops, right? Now, while all this is sort of kind of with the brown on, I'm going to go get this little pink mixture that I have. See, like right here? Yeah. And I'm going to get my, you could use anything you want. I'm going to get just a little of my zinc. I'm going to come in, I'm going to give myself a little very diminutive toenail. See that?
I do.
You wouldn't want to do white. You wouldn't want to do any of that because it would just show up, right? And that's why zinc is kind of nice. Get a little toenail there. I got these weird defines, which I'm kind of into. Okay, I've got a little face work to do, and then I can put in features. So I'm going to take that base skin tone that I had made. I'm going to add just a smidge of yellow to it. Okay? Just a smidge. I'm going to come right here. Right there on the face. So like, sure the chin's there. I'm just making this little highlight. Can you guys see the highlight? It's very light. And it's done with the ochre, and it's just a hair, right? Not as dark as everything around it. You get this right here. But we haven't even really gotten into the secret sauce yet, but we're just making sure that we've got some stuff here. That's too bright. So if anything gets too bright, just tap it back. You don't want anything that crazy noticeable. I'm going to just make sure that I've got this here. Now, when I have all this stuff, right, and I know what I'm doing, I like to put a little bit right there at the belly. Let's give her a little bit at this belly. Isn't that nice? Top of the leg. But it's just one shade with the ochre, right? Lighter than what's around it. So we're not using any white at all. Now, I want this color right here. I'm going to add a lot more yellow to it, like you do. I'm going to do something super crazy. I'm going to get some of this cat orange. See what I got there? Pretty light. Let's come right here. Tap a little reflection. You can just do that at the chin, maybe a little bit on the neck here. Let's catch some of this on her shoulder. Isn't that lovely? You can come right above the belly button and at the highlight of the center. There we go. Maybe she has a little bit here in her arm. Definitely hit some of the heel. Then come over here and again that little palm of the hand. A little bit of the shoulder. Just some places that light is hitting. Come to the top of this leg. Maybe like at the top of her foot bone. Can we see her yet? Is she there for us? Is she real yet for you? That would be my question. Can you feel her? Oh, look at that. She's got some shape now, doesn't she? She's got a glow now. She's got a glow. Now I've rinsed my brush out, and I'm going to do a cool thing. I'm going to get some purple, just purple, and some of my glaze if I have it. And I'm going to come right underneath her, where she's sitting, and I'm going to deepen that shadow right underneath her. So that was another thing that I want to say that we were not getting enough of. We were so close. It was so perfect. There's such good work right here. But just to remember that we have to, I would anchor here, right, with shadow. That's the #1 thing that you can do to just significantly improve a painting today is recognize that solid objects block light. So if something's connected to the ground, a tractor, a person, a dog, whatever it is, you want to block some light. You want to create a deeper value to talk about those shadows. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I do? I don't know. You're so tired, John. Love you, babe.
I'm laughing at my own fatigue.
We have all the hair to do and fire.
I'm fine. I know I'm sounding all tired and fatigued and useless, but I'm actually okay
in your thing. You're like, I'm okay, I'm good. You're like that guy. I'm good, I'm okay, I'm good.
I can push the buttons.
I can push the buttons.
They're not hard. I just have 3 of them. Well, there's more. But, 3 important ones.
The next time I'm like, hey, let's do a late night show, you're going to be like, no. So I'm going to get some actual titanium white this time. And you can see it really brightens this color. I'm going to do an interesting thing. I'm going to come from where the ring is. And I'm going to brush stroke down. Right here. I'm just kind of creating a fabric direction, aren't I? maybe a little bit here in the center. A little highlight. A little thought about something. I'm going to get right back into my quinacridone in my Cad Red. If I need to, I can get my zinc. But you can, if you don't have zinc, just do it all titanium white. And I'm just to make sure that we've got a nice little blend here, like you would have, so the fabric feels rich. There we go. You can get a little of the purple on your brush, right into it. This dark shadow. And down the side of the ribs. If you need to, I tapped off a little paint off my brush so that I could blend here while it was all still wet. See how we're doing?
Yeah.
You don't want to do too much. But you want to have enough.
I'm gonna
admit
something to our community.
What?
That we're gonna get off this at, I don't know, probably midnight or whatever.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. But it's like we'll finish up our show at midnight, because they're all like, we sound super tired. But then after that, we're gonna spend a couple hours like watching like sci-fi shows or something like that, falling asleep on the sofa. So we're gonna be up all night. Don't worry.
So what I'm doing here is I'm roushing or gathering the fabric, and that's what that shadowing is.
Oh yeah.
So you want to be sure that you've got that, and you shadow that, and you roush that. Back to the detail brush.
Sorry, rambling a little bit.
No, I love that you ramble. Baby, ramble on. I had a crazy idea, and you hung in with me, and not one time said it was a bad idea.
Well, it wasn't a bad idea. It was just a late night idea.
Not one time did you say it.
It was just a late night idea.
So all my paint is coagulating because it is late and dry and done.
Coagulating paint.
So I'm going to put a little black out. And I'm coming here to my face like you do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've got a nice little face line that I'm liking. I'm going to come give about a chin's worth. I'm going to make a dot and a dot. Can you guys see the dots? I don't know if the camera can see the dots.
I think so.
Dot, dot. All right. And then I'm going to come down a little bit from the first two. And make this little sort of upside down C. Yes, it's the paint and the brush. That's how I'm getting these lines. And then I'm going to make a nice bottom lip here, shadow. And make a nice full lip top. There we go. That's a great lip. Yeah. So I'm just getting these dark colors in it first so I know where everything is. Now above that, like about, I don't know, I couldn't even tell you, it's not even a centimeter, I don't know what that is. I'm going to make this little crazy circle. Can you see that little crazy C? The trick is, don't come down low. You're going to want to come up a little bit high with this little line right here. Can you see this little curved line right there? Now I'm going to connect my nose to my lip with the shadow. Coming around the side for the nostril. Now I get to get into my skin tones, and it's going to be that warm skin tone I made, right? So I've got my little orange.
I gotta go over there and see that.
Okay, so I have my brown and my orange and my yellow ochre. Right, those were my little highlights. So what I'm going to do, I'm just mixing it right here. So I'm going to come into the nose. Just on the ball of the nose. Look at this. And I paint a little ball. And I tap the nostril next to it. And I tap the nostril next to it. It's so much fun. I love it. It's like my favorite. And you're like, that is a weird favorite thing, girl. I'm going to get a little more Cad orange on my brush. And I'm going to come right here next to all this. Just above this little nostril, I'm going to tap. Look at this. I'm going to make a little reflection here. a lot more yellow ochre and that orange. And I'm going to come right here into the top of the nose. Look at that reflection. A little highlight, isn't it? So tap that little highlight out. Now I got a little high, a little crazy with my black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my burnt umber into it again. And this is almost my base skin mix, just minus the magenta, but I don't really need the magenta. I'm just going to make sure that her jawline, look at that, is well conceived. Just blending that, just making sure we're good. She's gotta have a jaw, man. And once I have that, I can come into my highlight color, which is again back into my yellow ochre and my cad orange. I'm warming it up because we're reflecting. I could have also done this phthalo blue. I actually vacillated between those two choices quite a lot. I'm giving myself just a smidge, right, of a little chin highlight. Let's get these beautiful lips in. Okay, I can get these great lips. So the lips are the same as the top. So I'm going to get my cad and my magenta together, and then I'm going to do some of my purple. Trick with lips. Top lip is darker. So I'm going to use my purple to darken that top lip. I don't want any of that black line. I'm coming above that black line. I do want the shadow under the nose. I just don't want the lip outlined in black. I was just trying to show you guys where that is. Usually just tap that in. Alright, so see how this is a very dark top lip?
Yeah.
She's just about to get so crazy cool. Now I'm going to take my little underneath pink here. Get a nice little bottom lip going. Look at that. Isn't that gorge? And because there's so much orange, because there's so much warmth, and all that, look how that just pops. Like that should be a real lipstick color. I'm going to get a little of my zinc into this. A little zinc, like you do. I'm going to tap a little, the first of a little highlight here, and a little one right here. The first one at the top of the bow. And then I'm going to get right into my titanium white. I haven't rinsed. Get quite a light pink with my titanium white into that. And I'm going to just tap out like I'm just dotting out a reflection here. And then at the top of the bow. Oh, she is awesome.
Yep.
So awesome. Now, I need to do her hairline, and I will see if I can charcoal it out so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to come down here, right above this, right? Kind of like garnet. We wouldn't see any of her eyes based on this, okay? So that's how far down I'm taking that hairline. If you know you're taking that hairline that far down, you can put a shadow underneath it. I'm going to put my palette down a second. Right, so that could be in shadow underneath that hair that's coming down. Because when you have, you know, the hair casts a shadow. This particular hair would cast a lot of a shadow. So I'm just making sure that that's there. I'm going to end up back at the thing again in a second, but... Well, because, like, I'm going to be, like, doing, like, some stuff on her hair. That being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brown and my black together. Mostly black. And I'm going to come right here. I'm using my number 2 bright. And I'm going to follow what is my hairline. And I'm not going to do all the detailed work because I'm going to have to come in with a detail brush to get all the curls. But the basic shape above where the curl line will be. So just above where I'm going to be curling out each little tendril, I'm painting this in with the black paint. See, so it's above my chalk line a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I'm going to come back with a tiny detail brush. Rinse this so much it blows your mind. And then you know what you're going to do? You're going to take a little of your CAD. All right. Go CAD first. Yeah, I think we're going to go CAD first. And then you see these little balls here?
Yes.
I want you to come underneath one. And you're just going to make this little, see this little breathy stroke. It's a little breathy stroke. It's a little upside down C breathy stroke. And I'm going to bring a little flame up. No, look at that. So the heat of the fire is white, and the coldest part of the fire is red. Good thing to know.
It's a relativity statement, though.
Yeah, it is a relative statement, but for the purposes of painting, that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm painting these little tendrils. Look, I just like they taper and they wander around. These are the flames. Respect the flames. Now, in this ball here that we have, you've got to have some of these like dark values for the fire to read as fire. I'm not going to fill everything in because I've got to do yellows and oranges and all kinds of things. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, the little breathy stroke. It's not a perfect stroke, it's a little breathy stroke. For all-night paint.
It is an all-night paint.
No, you know what this makes me think? That I could do the 24-hour paint I want to do for the St. Jude Play Live.
Well, I have to. I'm wanting to make sure that I'm not doing our community justice here by saying how much everybody appreciates and says that this is looking really beautiful and that the flames are looking really cool.
Yay!
Yeah, I am feeling a little more quiet than normal. And I just want to make sure I'm passing along that everyone thinks you're doing a great job, and this is looking really, really good, and everyone's hanging in for you.
Are they feeling it?
They are totally feeling it.
All right, here we go. We're doing pretty good here. Pretty good here, right?
Yeah.
I'm rinsing this out a lot because I had to get into the yellow anyways here pretty soon. So I'm going to get this yellow, and interestingly enough, I'm going to get my glaze. You can also use your zinc, and that will help. Because see how it doesn't make the yellow like a ducky color? It just lightens it a bit, but not like some amount that you're like, oh, I can't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little halo right here. Goes right into her hair. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
It's very soft. You don't have to do it if this kind of light feathering stroke is hard. And remember, you can always practice. When you're trying to get effects like the glow of something, and like I definitely wanted to make her hair glow, mostly because I'm playing with a new animation app, and I'm really excited what I'm going to do with her. Because I think I'm going to make these burn and maybe her like breathe or something. Anyways, we're all working this extra hard because I have an animation app. So, look at that. Isn't it lovely?
I like it a lot.
I love the glaze, right? This is one of the times yellow being transparent is working in our favor, man.
Yeah.
And so here we go. It's just like, and the glaze really helps you get that sort of glow space. And you want that glow because that's how I'm going to make her hair seem real lit up. Oh, she's looking good. She's looking good. I'm going to get a little of my orange and a little of my CAD yellow together. Makes just slightly lighter of a color than what I normally get. And then as, not like here, but like as the flames are coming out, we're going to orange them up. Maybe there'll be a little bit around the corner here, around the bottom. You can bring a little orange flame out here. Can't have too many flames. Well, you can, especially in a forest fire. Too many.
Yes, I said, well, you certainly can't have them there. But, in a campfire, they're pretty good.
They could be. Like the birch rounds could have a nice amount of flames right now. Hi, guys.
Or if you're summoning, Yoga Fire. That's probably...
Yoga Fire is something I have never summoned.
Well, if you're Dahalism, you have.
Huh?
Dahalism.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the yoga fighter from Street Fighter 2.
I totally forgot that.
And he threw yoga flames.
That's because I was Soul Calibur.
Well, that was later.
I'm just saying, you know, I'm a Soul Calibur fighter.
Look, I'm totally into Soul Calibur 2.
You were not in Soul Calibur. I was in Soul Calibur. You barely acknowledge Soul Calibur. These are marriage problems. I'm going to just make sure. I'm just making sure that my red is here and is effective. This has to dry a little bit so that I can do the yellow and the white. Now I can dry it with a hairdryer, or I can just take advantage of letting it dry for a second and start working my hair, because there's a lot to do.
It's true.
There's a lot to do. A lot.
A lot.
A lot. So basically, I'm going to put out my burnt umber, my black, and some fresh orange. This cat orange, and there's some new colors. There's some new luminous colors that have come out if you want to do different. None of it's any cheaper, though. But we've got these nice things. So this is how we're going to make her hair really come to life. I'm going to get my detail brush, which was my number 0 from the Galaxy set. All right. First layer, black. All right.
No. Your first layer is just straight black.
Just straight black. And I'm going to come into her face, and I'm on the tip of my brush, often called the toe. And I'm going to make little lines. They follow each other. And these are going to be the curls. What you do here matters. It's not little circles. These are little waves that follow each other. This is much more in common with the Zentangle. You may take a hair and curl it, right, like you do. But she does not have steel wool. This is a very intricate dance of curls following other curls. They have a whole plan here.
A plan.
Don't mess with the hair's plan.
It's a curl plan.
The hair has a curl plan. You got to respect the curl plan. Sometimes I might clean up a line. Right, like you can curl right here. You can curl all over the place. But make sure that it's curls. You're not doing little circles. That's not your friend. Right, so I've got that base in now. And that's pretty good. I'm going to take my black again and kind of just work through my hair just a little bit. See how we're doing?
Yeah.
This is that first layer. You've got to have it, or you have nothing. But see, a lot of times I'll be like, I'm just trying to create these beautiful, delicate lines and follow each other. See how we're doing?
But you must do this, because without it, you have nothing.
Nothing. A lot of people are like, but it looked pretty good before you even put a single hair on it.
But no. Not without
For
this.
many people, this was already an improved natural hair painting method. Only Garnet should have hair that is a total helmet. This hair should be alive. This hair should move. You should get the sense that it is lighter than air, and when she moves, the hair has like its own like space. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Now, I haven't seen, is Garnet's hair solid?
Yes, Garnet's hair is very solid and square.
Deflects. I know. I didn't know if it.
But that's okay, because she's Garnet.
Well,
and her
Garnet,
relationship is stable.
By the definition, a very dense stone.
She's a very dense stone that sees the future. She's actually not an individual. She's a fusion. Hmm. All right, see how we're doing? We're doing pretty good? Now that I've got this in here, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a little bit of our burnt sienna and our black, and we're going to mix them together. Look at that.
Hold on. I got it. And now you have burnt sienna black.
Yeah, but watch it. Now I can highlight some of the hair.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot, but a little bit to help enforce the movement that's happening here. Right? Because her hair is dark. The only reason it's so lit up in everything that we're seeing is that she's backlit. And so the hair shaft, right, which is really almost like stained glass, has light reflecting through it, and we're seeing all the tones and colors and lightness to her hair. I thought about this maybe a little bit too much. But I mean, it's like a thing. So see how sometimes I like make these little S curves, but I don't just do little circles. I'm going to take the time and do what I got to do to give her her due. She would not appreciate it if I got lazy. She'd be very mad at me, and I feel like she could haunt me because she's yoga power. Sometimes John will catch me doing this. I talk to the subjects of my painting. That's been happening a lot with Big Art Quest lately.
I would say more accurately, the subjects of your painting talk to you.
The subjects of my painting talk to me. Now I'm going to get much more into my burnt, right? My burnt sienna. Here we go.
There we go. Now I see it.
Can you see the lines now?
Oh, yeah. I see them all along, but now they're really starting to pop.
The space that you want to really just go crazy in is as you come to these outer edges. Don't fill it in too much because you've got to really work it with the light hair. Wait till you see me animate this whole thing. It's going to be so cool. Okay, did anyone see Heavy Metal? Okay. I feel like she could be the new version of Tarna.
Be pretty awesome.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like, full on, she looks more like the Temple than Tarna did. That's what was essentially wrong with that movie. Alright, so I'm going to add a little highlight here with this bright brown. And see, against all these deep, rich colors, then this hair, right, it starts to take form, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the texture and the flow of it starts to happen. And I know I'm taking a lot of time with this, guys. But sometimes there's not enough of art information out there, and I want to really drill down. Come right here and like, oh, look at these little light lines. I love these. They're my favorite. They're my favorite. Yeah, like, this is a very weird favorite chick. But it's fun, fun, fun. Oh my gosh, it's so fantastic. This is not going to be the last time we look at this either.
What's that?
These amazing, like, over-the-top hairstyles that are spectacular. This is happening again. Just know it. Right? So as I'm coming out, you can see how, like, I'm working those browns because the light is backlighting it, right?
Yeah.
Her hair is backlit. If she were at a beach, this is exactly what you do. If she was like sitting in front of sunset, you'd have to backlight her. Now, she probably would be darker. Like, this is kind of would not be realistic lighting for someone being completely backlit.
But this is not
spiritual.
realistic lighting?
No.
The girl holding the fire yoga flame?
You don't know she's not realistic. Do you know what happened to my Native American Indian Studies professor?
I don't.
Really?
No, I don't think I should ask.
You don't want to know what happened to her?
I don't think we should ask.
She was from a Northern Californian tribe. And it was very stressful to her family for her to leave. So, like, anytime she, like, flew anywhere or had to do anything, she'd, like, get blessings and everything, which, like, really bugged her. Because she was like, I'm modern. And this is not my thing. But she was like, but, you know, I don't want my aunt to cry at me. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And she had this friend make her take yoga. And everyone was talking about the stuff that they could see and seeing auras and everything. She's like, oh, no, more of this stuff, right? And so she's in the middle of class. And she's, like, it's been a long work week and, you know, she's just trying to relax and really listen to the teacher. And then all of a sudden she saw like stuff like this all around the room. And then she started to freak out and scream. She was not into it. It was not calming for her at all. Also, it made her feel like, you know, maybe like the people back home had a point about some stuff. Which she was not a fan of. All right, so we're doing pretty good. She's looking pretty beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
She's looking pretty amazing. But we're going to take her further, man. We're not going to be done here. Because what are we going to do?
I do not know.
We're going to go brown and orange.
Hold on, let me go down and look at the colors you're mixing.
I'm mixing my cat orange and my burnt umber. Now, it doesn't look like that bright of a color until you come into her hair. Now, all of a sudden, you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this.
Little fiery tendrils.
They are. So the fire in her soul and the fire that is now exiting her hand that scared my Native American Indian Studies teacher so badly. She was like, I just don't want to be enlightened. I don't like it. I don't know. I just really like that class. My favorite class. I can't believe I didn't tell you that. We've been married a really long time. I had to have told you that. We could play that. What have we not told each other in all of our marriage game? No, I don't really want to know that. Now, you can take a little of this lighting, right? A smidge, a small amount, a couple of places, but don't get crazy with it. It can be a little bit into the hair, just because sometimes light reflects or moves around. We're literally nearly done, guys. Everyone hanging in. Did anyone paint this?
Oh my gosh, I think there's lots of people painting this.
Oh, okay, good.
Then they think that the hair looks really cool. Really turning out good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Maybe even like a little bit of that right there, like curl it around so we can kind of see the little edge around her face. See how we're doing?
Yeah.
By making the highlight, we're picking up that edge a little bit. Again, be careful though. It's powerful stuff. All right, talk about these. I don't know if you've ever noticed this. Because I'm on YouTube, I had some friends that have channels, beauty channels, and I had a couple that have natural hair channels. And so, you know, they're just amazing, amazing heads of hair. And I'll like just sit there and like check out like a strand. I'm like, that is insanely cool. Like my hair has never done anything that interesting ever. I mean, it does some interesting things, but not for good reasons.
It's pink.
Well, I mean, but I made it do that. Actually, that's not true because I was a redhead, so, you know, that's pretty interesting.
It's very interesting hair.
But, you know, I didn't really curl, and it was kind of straight. And so sometimes, like, you notice what you don't have. It's like everybody with curly hair straightens and everybody with straight hair curls it.
Now, is there a way to stay random and not make patterns?
My big advice on that is to practice on a sheet of paper. See what you're doing in a very clean space.
You'd hear the emotional bracing for you going, man, this is a deep subject.
Well, it is because your brain, a lot of it is about patterns.
It's true, man. It's one of those things. It's practice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It wants to see patterns. It wants to find faces in the forest.
That's what we do, man.
Well, it does help us find the tiger that is trying to eat us.
And unlike the little fruits and berries that we can eat.
Right? Or the crocodile that's trying to eat us.
Let's just not get eaten.
Or the baboon, or the fire ants, or like all the stuff that I've been watching. Sorry, I've been watching Naked and Afraid on a marathon. It's not been good for my well-being. I'm like, why would you do this show? This is the most miserable show ever. That show makes me want to be on The Amazing Race, and I never want to be on The Amazing Race. But if those were my only choices, I definitely would Amazing Race over Naked and Afraid. You might enjoy Naked and Afraid. You don't really care if you're hungry.
Yeah, but I don't want to be naked.
And afraid.
Well, I'm generally not afraid, but being naked is not sounding fun.
And also, I don't think you'd like to be naked with a stranger. I just don't see that as being your thing.
No, I don't want to be naked with any
naked
people.
With a stranger.
It's just that the whole premise of that just seems kind of a silly addition. Like, go ahead and try to scare me in the forest. I get that, but
just add some other person. There's some girl.
I don't know why
who's also naked and afraid.
Why can't we be clothed while you're doing this?
I don't know. I don't know. I keep watching the show. It's a very fascinating show.
It's just weird.
I'm still not over the one where the girl was so mean to the guy, and then she's like, my dad was a survivalist, and he taught me stuff from scouts, and I can tie a knot, and then she nearly died, and he was like keeping her alive, but she was super mean to him all the time. But he didn't think he could live with anything happening to her. I was like, that is not good evolution there, to be like mean to the person who's feeding you.
You know, I'm such a Boy Scout. I remember that one show where the girl threw her shoe.
Yes.
You're just making random hairs there, right?
Yeah, I'm just finding the light, and I'm just making sure that I'm sending her into the world. I'm sorry. It's just I could do this for hours. It's just a whole problem for me.
Well, let's see. Let me look over at the time. We are at 2 hours and 41 minutes.
Okay. It was a much longer video than we said it would be.
It was nearly a 3-hour tour.
But look. Okay, so we're going to elevate her to 3 hoots.
Are you going to sign her?
No. Do you see the fire? Fire's not done.
Oh, we did.
We have 2 more layers of fire, and then I can sign her.
2 more layers of fire.
Yes, 2 more layers of fire, and then I can sign her.
Okay.
So the next layer of fire is yellow and some white. Yellow and white. Yellow and white. And you're going to come here and you're going to just...
Raven says that there should be a show, Clothed and Comfy.
That's the show I show up for. Clothed and Comfy. That's the Sherpa show. Clothed and Comfy. That's why we do Pajama Glamas. No.
There we go. That's our show, Pajama Glamas.
Pajama Glamas. Cozy and with a cookie.
And a sippy.
A sippy.
Maybe some paint.
Maybe some paint. Definitely some paint. There's always some paint. So I'm taking the yellow and I'm moving it to the center where it's like more energies in the flame. Right? So it's layering. I'm going to rinse out my brush really well. How's she looking? She looking okay?
Very powered up.
Is she powered up? Does she seem like she's having none of it?
She's got that Goku glow.
Okay, she's like, she's so hooked up. I really love her. All right, I'm going to come in the center of each fireball with a little bit of white here, and I'm going to bring it up into the fire a couple of places, but mostly here. What?
I sounded too happy when I said you're going to sign it.
Well, I'm sure everybody's happy that I'm going to sign it. This is probably not going to be my 3 million view video.
I don't know. I like it a lot. I really do. This is one of my favorite paintings you've done.
I think she's super stunning, and I'm very proud of her. And I hope you like your version as much as I like mine. I'm going to definitely get my brush going here. And what do I got that's fluid? I got some, I will do the brown and the orange. I'm going to come right here next to her knee. I'm going to sign her. So it's there. I mean, you can see it. All right. Mermaid is going to be a lot easier than this. So if you're going, oh my gosh, the mermaid, this was a soul piece, right? This was, when I do your guys' paintings, I'm really trying to show you what your goal, like what you're trying to get out. And so that might take a little bit longer. Mermaids, she's going to be gorgeous, but she's going to be quick. So,
this
Sunday,
is amazing.
3 o'clock.
Cinnamon, everybody said they just love this. This is great.
She's beautiful. I'm super proud of her. I hope you're proud of yours. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Drink some sleepy time tea. I'm going to see you Sunday at 3 p.m. for the beautiful mermaid, the Bella Luna mermaid. I'm going to see you at the Easel really soon. Bye-bye.